Yo, what up, everybody? What's going on tonight? We are going to play, as y'all know, the corruption saga continues with Mike Long. So we're going to play this call that he made from the Mexican jail. So, let's roll it, Nana, if you're still here.
Interesting thing. Michael had to pay
It's kind of hard to hear, so try to try to listen in if you can. I'm going to link the video down below as well. So anybody that wants to go watch it and come back can do that as well.
You need a psychological evaluation. You can pay for it. Right. If you want it, you can pay for it. Right. Well, he had to pay $3,000. Yeah. So he paid $3,000. Well, he didn't. But anyway, I got paid. The guy finished it and then hit him up for another $1,500 before he'd give it to him.
Yeah. Courts. Michael wouldn't pay it.
He didn't pay it. So it was 3 months later, it did show up in court. But what about the integrity of the psychologist doing something like that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of integrity there, honestly. I've heard so many stories that you have to question the integrity of anybody in the, what I call the family destruction.
Michael?
These things that they say he is narcissistic and bipolar and anger management is not even remotely a description of Michael.
Right.
And people can say what they want about us, but he is not that. This is Michael. This is Michael.
Yeah, okay. Everything they've accused him
Hi,
of, they're doing themselves, basically.
How are you?
Okay, well, Jeff is here. I'm going to give him the phone. You have to talk into the phone because it gets noisy.
Hey, Michael, this is Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good. How are you doing down there?
I've had better periods.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I used to work in a prison system, and I think that there's a little bit of a difference between the prisons down there and the ones up here. So,
Yeah, that's probably very true.
so how long have you been in now?
It's definitely been a cultural experience.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, at least you speak the language, though.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. So how long have you been inside right now? How long have you been in prison?
Almost 3 months.
So, where's your daughter? Where's Sophie?
I have no idea where she's at.
Does anybody know where she is?
To be able to get us any information about her location.
Wow. Did they just take her from you and then throw you in jail? What happened with that?
Yeah, U.S. Marshals showed up. I don't know if they were from a field office or from where exactly they came from. I suspect they were from a field office in Mexico City.
You said Mexico City.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything more. Just
No, I just stopped right over.
Okay.
I just heard him say that. Girl, I can't.
Mexico City is like so deep
I
into
can't help but
Mexico, it's
laugh.
unreal. I know.
All right,
It's deep.
we'll keep rolling. Sorry, y'all.
We were headed in a car to go stay at the house of a family of a friend.
Right.
And they stopped us. The vehicle surrounded us, and I was taken out of the vehicle at gunpoint, arrested. I believe it was the U.S. Marshal that actually put me in handcuffs. And they searched me, and they took Sophie and I to a police station where there was probably 30 or 40 police. They're taking pictures, like they put me up against a wall, and all these cops would take out their phones and take pictures of me.
Right.
It was the PDI, which is the Policía de Investigación, or essentially the police of investigation.
Right.
Kind of like an FBI. That was with U.S. Marshals. They had us at that station for a while as they tried to process us, and there was a lot of questions about who I was. That's when I started to realize there was something weird. Took evidence pictures, and then they loaded us up. They took us to another police station. We waited there for well over an hour. I actually went in to go to the bathroom and came back out. I was in handcuffs, but they brought me back out. Then they brought us to immigration, and they wouldn't take us either. Finally, at around 5 in the morning, they brought us to another station where at that point they took Sophie and they brought me in, but that was the police station for narco traffickers. And I still didn't know what was going on exactly or why they were placing me into Mexican custody, because essentially at this point the U.S. Marshals left with Sophie, and then they just left me with the foreign authorities. Well, they brought me in, and ended up they brought me up on charges that I had. They say that I had 154 grams of marijuana, 11 bags, and a charge of kind of like a, what would you call it? Like if you were going to be drug dealing.
Did they plant it on you? Did they plant it on you, or did they just?
Yeah, they planted it. I didn't have no. They're completely false charges.
Yeah. So.
And so.
Go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
So yeah, and then they put me through that process. I waited, a couple days until they then brought me into what is the prison that I'm in now, where I can wait for almost 3 months. And the charges are real weird. So it's coming out after I was already in here. Even the lawyers that got involved started asking me about my identity, who I was. And they said because they were saying that I was somebody else. I was a Michael Long who had approximately my age, but his father was born in England. He used to be a Marine. And I guess this guy has like 7 charges of narco trafficking. Well, it sounds to me now like U.S. Marshals showed up using an arrest warrant for this other person. However, they were informed or told that I was that person. They arrested me and then just kind of like handed me over once they realized I wasn't that person. So there was like threats of extradition going on and all this stuff, but I didn't know what for and couldn't find out what charges. It took a while to finally explain to the lawyers that I have here that I wasn't the same person that they're thinking I was.
Right.
But somebody on the U.S. side, and I suspect it's Collin County because of their public announcement that they're trying to get me extradited, somebody told the U.S. Marshals that I was another person.
Right. No, I was wondering about the Collin County thing too, because I saw the announcement and I thought that was absolutely insane what was going on.
But yeah, it's kind of weird that they would announce an extradition without having press charges for anything too.
Right. Now, my
Not only
understanding.
that, it's not an extraditable offense what they're pressing.
Yeah.
They do.
My understanding was, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that they were trying to get you for some type of kidnapping charges, though. Is that not what they were trying to do?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what they were trying to do, but if they could have extradited me, they would have extradited me there instead of leaving me in the hands of foreign authorities.
Got it.
But I don't know if it's that they screwed up and they realized it, like the marshals realized they had stepped too far, and so they just handed me over. But it sounds like somebody's doing favors.
Right, right. But I mean, the bigger concern. I mean, look, if there's all sorts of concerns, but Sophie is nobody knows where she is, from what I understand.
Nobody knows where she's at. Yeah, I have no idea where my children are at.
Yeah. So, do you have any idea who it may have been in Collin County? I mean, did I see the name Ray Wheelis associated with this?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of power Ray Wheelis has, but I know he was appointed by the governor. Right? He has a lot of reach. And he certainly is not happy with me because of the exposure that it caused for him and his wife. But, the biggest clue that seemed to pop out was the fact that Collin County went public talking of extradition. How would they even have the remotest idea of an extradition order or of that being an effort unless they had a hand in actually influencing what happened?
Right. So, I mean, the reason that you were down in Mexico to begin with was to protect your daughter. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I mean, we came to Mexico to give some time and space to the appeals process. They were demanding that she go back. Obviously, we're going to appeal it. I have a frightened little girl who's begging me not to, have her go back. She was very much so in agreement with creating that space. And because of the online, the DIY wanted posters that were going around, we were spotted up where we were staying in Sonora. So we decided to come further south. And as we were coming further south, I don't know if we were spotted in Mexico City or what happened, but they ended up finding us here.
Wow. That's amazing, because you figure with Mexico City, with the number of people, that's one place to try to that you would have some anonymity.
Yeah, you think so. Sophie also turned off the VPN on her phone, and one of the PDI officers, it was a lady, she told me, because I started asking her questions, why is this going on? How'd you find it? She said that they found this via the phone. Now, we also had Mexican numbers at that point, but when I asked her, why they get involved, she told me that somebody higher up called and asked them to help.
Wow.
So I'd like to know who.
Right. I think everybody would like to know who.
And then the marshals sealed my file. So it's kind of hard to get information as to what's going on and why it happened the way it happened.
Right.
I don't know if the marshals are to blame or the people who gave them information, but the fact that they've kind of pegged me with a false identity is a problem, because now it's really held up my process. I was supposed to get out already, but I went in to a hearing on March 1st, and there was a guy there representing himself from the embassy, and another guy representing himself from the police department. And they informed the prosecutor that I had another arrest warrant. And so instead of letting me out so that I can fulfill the requirements here in Mexico, which are signatures, you have to show up at a certain interval to sign off, that you're kind of like a parole thing. Instead of being able to go out, the judge decided not to let me out because these people were thinking I had an arrest warrant, alluding that it might be an extradition warrant. Well, we've thoroughly searched in the U.S. to find if there's any sort of extradition warrant. There's not, from what we've looked at. And we're running checks in Mexico right now to see if these charges that they're talking about exist out here. But we haven't found anything yet here either. And I don't see how that could be unless they were make-believe.
When you say
we were only here in Mexico City for 2 days.
Yeah. When you say we, who was the other person of the we? Is that an attorney down there from Mexico, or who was that?
Yeah, I have an attorney in Mexico who's doing research. There's a way you can go to kind of a central agency down here and run a check to see if there's any sort of arrest warrants that are outstanding.
Right.
And so we're running those checks now. And then the lawyer that's helping us in the U.S., she has contacts and she's been reaching out to various agencies, including Interpol, to try to find out what's going on. And they don't have any extradition warrants for me.
Wow. So what can people up here do to help out in the whole situation? Is there anything that we can do?
Man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew what to do. I'm kind of I'm in a bad situation. I feel like I've been, to a certain extent, kind of squared off so that I don't have movement. You know what I mean? I can't do anything about the situation.
Right.
I just don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that one movie from what I hear you're saying that I think it was, what was it? The Turkish Express or the Midnight Express or something about the guy that was busted with drugs in Turkey. And they just decided to change the sentence on him arbitrarily to make an example out of him. I mean, basically in these other countries, I mean, once they lock the door, they don't have to really be that concerned about you. It's not like in America.
Yeah, no, and it's weird. The U.S. Embassy's been real weird, too. Like, the U.S. Embassy, I think, is convinced I'm that other person or something, because, I mean, they really, all this is called to check and make sure I'm not getting beat up. But there's no other activity. So pretty much, I've been left here alone to figure it out with the lawyers. Now, obviously, my family's been helpful in trying to get legal assistance down here.
Right.
But, meanwhile, I don't know where my daughter is, and I know that she didn't want to go back. I know to go back.
Right.
And it's just sad, man. And it's, what sticks out to me most is that, millions heard my daughter. Millions heard her outright. But the few people that were in charge of listening to her didn't listen.
Right.
And instead they tried to turn this around and make it my fault.
Right.
And make it, that it's some sort of coaching alienation situation. It's like,
right.
You guys are idiots. Like she's telling you what happened.
Right.
Why do you keep turning it around on me?
Yeah.
I'm just a father that's trying to protect my daughter. That's
right.
it.
Right.
And I think any other parent in my situation where they have a little girl, begging and pleading not to go back to an environment where she's being, according to her, sexually abused, what lengths would you go to protect your child?
Right. Well, I remember the videos that came out, and she was more than just protesting. As I recall, she was screaming and shrieking. And I don't know how you coach that behavior. I mean, it seemed like it was much more
I coach her mom and grandma to pull her by her feet and yank her around so much she needed to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
I certainly didn't coach her mom into having domestic violence in her home ahead of time or multiple CPS investigations.
Yeah.
It's like they overlook all the evidence.
Yeah. You're talking about the family courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's that, man. I'm appalled by what's happened, but there's not a whole lot I can do until I get out.
Right. So, I mean, what can we do up here as far as, in particular, I mean, I live near Collin County, and my understanding is, from what I've heard recently, that there may be some investigations going on into the Collin County courts. I mean, is there anything that we can do in that regard that can help?
Oh, here he goes, you guys. Get ready. Here he goes.
You know best, Jeff. I mean, you're deep in the trenches of this stuff. Yeah, I'm still just a dad that was trying to protect his child.
Right.
So everything I've learned and experienced in this process has been trial by fire. And I just because I know the truth of the matter, I know what happened. I know that my daughter's outcries were hers, and I know that the medical reports coincided with her having problems that would align with her claims.
Right.
Like, I have absolutely no reason not to believe my daughter still.
Right.
And it's whoever is doing this in these courts, they must have another motivation. They're motivated by something.
Right.
Whether that's money or power, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're involved in. But I certainly know that in our case, it hasn't been a fair shake at all.
Right.
They must have to consume more money in lawyers' fees and even want to penalize me more for the lawyers' fees at the end against me ad litem. All these penalties that they want to throw at me. For what? I was just trying to defend my child.
Right. Right. So, go ahead.
And I believe that they have something to do with the situation down here, too. But I can't prove it.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, I know that in our minds, I know that we can see a lot of the parallels and we can say it, but if you can't prove it, they have plausible deniability.
Yeah.
So
all I have is that little clip that they put out public from Collin County about talking about extradition.
Right.
There's no reason they should be talking about extradition.
Right.
If they hadn't already filed charges against me with an extraditable offense.
Right. So I remember when
that says something.
I remember when the rally was being held in Collin County, and I mean, I couldn't make it up there or anything, but I was talking with your parents here. There seemed to be quite the smear campaign going on. And it seemed like, because when you were going up there and what you put out, that it almost seemed like an orchestrated campaign against you. Can you comment on that?
Well, my ex hired a PR firm. Red Banyan. She hired Red Banyan early on in the process. It was somewhere around September of 2020. We suspect that they're still involved in the background of it. They have people that are helping, but it's been an all-out smear campaign ever since then.
And were you put under any type of gag orders that you could not respond?
Yeah, they put me under a gag order in January of 2021.
Okay.
And I honored it for quite some time. But, then come February, one of my children is injured at the hands of Jake Ellington, which was clearly against the court order that we had.
Right.
He was not to be around the children.
Right.
So they get into an accident, riding go-karts, and Lucas breaks his hand in 3 places, needs surgery and all that. They didn't do anything. The amicus headline, even though I had them recorded saying they're going to take action, they did nothing.
Right.
And time went by, Lucas got better, and by the time I'm reaching out, because Lucas gets his cast off to be like, hey, what are we doing? Like, are you taking action? They let me know that, you have a hearing in 2 weeks. And it was that hearing when they started the process of trying to just take Sophie back.
Right.
They didn't do anything about the violation of orders.
Right. That's very frequent. I know.
It was in July. So, this started going on come July. Jake gets arrested for hitting Kelly and his own kid.
Yeah.
Or sometime around then. This dude's an abuser.
Yeah.
And yet, they turned me into a villain because I made them public, I guess.
Yeah. So as far as the names of the people, the judges, the amicus, the ad litem's, everything else, the attorneys, what are their names? And what, that you recall and their involvement and so on. I think we need to name names.
Well, if you have, so you have Ray Wheelis, who was married to Cynthia Wheelis.
Right.
Who was originally on the case.
Right.
And then later, in September of 2020, when Cynthia Wheelis took off the case, Ray Wheelis appointed Michael Snipes out of Dallas, a retired judge who at that time did not have a family court certification. He appointed, and within a couple weeks, he unilaterally appoints Stephanie Martin and John Helms. Stephanie Martin is the guardian ad litem, and John Helms is the amicus. He didn't follow procedure with that either, but he appoints them. They're both out of Dallas, but they're both criminal defense lawyers. They both get put on the case, and they stay with the case until what's all happened here.
Got it. So with regard to the documents that I know that you have not put out, is there any problem from your perspective if somebody else puts them out?
At this point, I don't feel like there's anything in the documents that's really private.
Right.
I just want to get to the bottom of what's going on there and why it is that not only for myself and in our case, but why are all these other cases, why are they so weird? Why are there so many problems?
Yeah, there's several different people that
are breaking the law.
Yeah. There is, again, I've heard recently, and I don't know the truth behind this, but I've heard that in particular, the name of Cynthia Wheelis has come up a few times. That there are people that realize that there's some things going on. I think Rachel Lee's name has come up too.
Yes.
He brings it all out. He busts it all out.
Oh yeah, because Rachel.
We had to fight her.
Link in bio.
She tried to kind of take away my parental rights too.
Yeah.
And then I think she was the one responsible for drafting up the gag order. And then my lawyer suddenly goes on vacation, and in a closed session on a Friday in late August, they agreed to TRO against me. That Sunday night, I get notification that there's a gag order hearing the following Monday, so the next day. And my lawyer's out of town, so it's a stand-in lawyer who pretty much tells me that I have to agree to the gag order. I'm going to be facing criminal charges for having gone public and put people's lives at risk.
Whose lives are put at risk? Whose lives are put at risk?
Well, I guess the lawyers have gotten threats, and Kelly's gotten threats, and everybody's getting threats, and that's all my fault. So
yeah.
And we had that was with Charity Bolserine, and she was the stand-in lawyer, but I had that conversation recorded in that file as well.
Yeah, no, Charity, I'm familiar with her too, because she was at a case that I was watching and tried to, it was very interesting. Charity's another big name up there as well.
Yeah, it is.
So I really don't know what else to ask you right now. You don't have any time frame at all at this point, do you?
I have another hearing coming up, but we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
And primarily, had it not been for your parents being here right now, would you be able to even do anything, or would you kind of be forgotten behind in some prison cell somewhere?
What's that?
I said primarily, if it were not for your parents helping out with the whole thing too, would you have any recourse? Right? Would you have any help, or would they kind of have forgotten about you intentionally and have you sitting in some prison cell?
Yeah, I kind of disappeared off the map, and I have some friends that would probably help me as they could. Yeah, if not for family, it would be a pretty trying situation right now.
Right. And this whole thing, the root cause of this whole thing goes back to a family court issue, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is about.
Yeah.
and then wanting to send my daughter to the hands of the household where she was being abused, and then later trying to send her to the custody of the family of one of the alleged abusers.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Sophie didn't want to go.
Right. I remember.
Sophie wanted to stay with me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and it's too bad too because she was doing really well.
Yeah.
Like for how strange the situation was, she was starting to learn Spanish. She was starting to open up to new cultures. It was actually becoming an amazing experience for her, and it all just kind of stopped as soon as they showed up. I want to know where my daughter is. I want to know that she's safe and that she's okay, and I'm not going to take the words of some corrupt amicus or ad litem to just tell me that she's okay. Like, I want to know that my daughter's okay, and the boys too.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, so do your parents. I mean, you've got grandparents involved with this. Everybody's involved. The entire family's involved. So.
Yeah. I mean, these are my children.
Right.
Like, I still am baffled at the fact that they terminated my parental rights, and for what?
Yeah.
For accusations from an online propaganda campaign, the smear campaign that they did online. Like, for that, like they take words of people off the internet instead of facts, and so that's what bothers me. I mean, it's like they were looking for any excuse to shut me down. They certainly found one way to do it by putting me in a Mexican prison.
Right.
But this isn't forever, and when I'm out, like, I don't intend to stop fighting.
No, I know, and yeah. Well, I know we're fighting for a number of things this upcoming session and everything. I don't know if you've heard about what happened with Jeff Younger recently, but he was at a UNT.
No.
He was at a UNT event talking about the issue with his ex-wife and his son, and basically they had a riot that took place there almost. I mean, it's hit national news.
Wow.
So and again, it's another family court issue thing, except different. It wasn't up in Collin County. It was in Dallas County with Mary Brown of the 301st, I think. But anyway, no, I think that what you're saying is exactly true, that, fathers need to stand up and fight. We are the protectors of our kids, the protectors of our generation. And too oftentimes we've been cowed by the family courts. We need to be united together, and also the grandparents and everything. I mean, we need to be fighting for family integrity. These courts are abusive. They're corrupt. And I think that people are finally starting to see that more and more and more. I was just talking with another guy today, and he just gave me another story. He said, I never would have believed this took place. And the problem is that it happens, and then people have been silenced into saying you should just accept it, when we should not accept that which is evil. So, hey, I don't know what else.
Go
ahead.
They kind of bend the legal process and the rules into however they want.
Right.
I mean, they'll drag you dry financially until you're standing alone, and then once you're standing alone, they'll hop around you with their legal jargon.
Yeah.
Until there's just nothing you can do, and they turn you into the enemy.
Right.
Like, it just can't be that we live in a country where if you defend your child because your child has outcries or has needs or there's problems, that it turns into some sort of witch hunt like that.
Yeah.
That's not right.
And the fallacy is that it's called family law. It's against the family, so it's anti-family. And as far as the law is concerned, it's just made up stuff. I mean, it should be anti-family made up court. It just, you just choose it anything you want to. It just depends what day's today. Well, I think we're going to rule this way. It's absolutely
what's in the
horrible.
best interest of the child, according to a stranger.
Right, according to a stranger. It was interesting. That argument came up today at the case that I was at just earlier today, and was in. I got brought into it for a couple of different reasons. I didn't comment on it in the courtroom, of course, but nobody even knows what that definition is. Nobody can tell you what it is. They talk about the Hawley factors, but they tell them they're not exhaustive. They have no exhaustive list. They don't tell you how they're weighted. Strangers make the determination. Strangers can have different opinions. The best interest of the child is nothing but an opinion, and it's actually a legal ruse that people use just to do whatever they want to. It's very abusive. I agree with you. So
it's a kangaroo court in Collin County.
Oh, well, it's
they do what they want.
Not just Collin County. Every place that you go.
Set up an online witch hunt. Okay, Michael. Okay.
How much time do you talk with people? Are you like they take the phone away at any time, or do you get as much time on the telephone as you need, or how does that work
I have
out?
like periods of time when I get out of myself, so I can get to a phone.
Yeah.
And I usually call my mom to check in to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to follow up or something like that, she can always three-way.
Gotcha. So as far as, what is your daily routine like there? And you're not in any type of solitary, are you?
The what?
You're not in any type of solitary, are you? Or you best not solitary? Are you in like?
No, not in solitary. I'm in a cell with other inmates that are in the system here, and we have a rotation. So in the mornings we get out for a while. We have to come back in. There's they clean the prison, then we get back out, and we have to go back in for them to do lists, and we get back out for a short amount of time, and then we're locked back in by 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, got it. How big is the cell?
About 10 foot by 10 foot.
And how many people are in it?
We've had up to 19.
Good night. How do you sleep?
Well, I have a bed now. Well, kind of. I sleep below a bed on the floor, and then I have like a little cushion underneath me.
Do you have blankets or anything?
Yeah, I have blankets.
And what about the food?
One of the mothers of one of the inmates sends food in, and so that's usually what we eat for dinner and lunch, which is nice because they have food here, but between you and I, it wasn't agreeing with me all that well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of make and do, man. But
Yeah.
for the most part, in fact, here I'm treated with respect. I have good relations with the inmates. I'm probably more of curiosity to them than anything.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm pretty low conflict when it comes to getting along with other people. So I haven't had any problems inside so far.
So let me ask one other question here. How many of the people that you're in with have a college degree?
Let's see. Right now, one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Is an anthropologist. Really interesting.
Yeah.
But there've been a wide variety of people that come through that are graduates. There's a lot of reform going on in the Mexican prison system that's been going on over the last 6 months. The human rights movement's gotten pretty heavily involved. And they listen pretty carefully to the human rights agency if there's complaints that go in and stuff like that. And, I'm not calling their human rights line or anything like that here in Mexico, but there is an element of me that wishes that the International Human Rights Organization would somehow be aware of this case and what's going on, because this isn't right. I was deprived of my liberty interest. I was literally arrested by my own government, handed over to foreign authorities, and put in prison. Left to fight it on my own with my family.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Are there any organizations?
But I don't know anybody at International Human Rights, so I don't know who to call or what to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know if you heard any specific organizations or not. If you had any specifics that we can write to.
Yeah, I don't even know who I would call.
Yeah.
Kind of the international authority on that.
Yeah. Got it. Well, listen, hey, thanks so much. I'm going to give you back to your mom, okay?
All right, Jeff. Thanks for coming out to the property too. Hopefully you enjoy your time there too.
Absolutely. And I've got a lot of stuff, as you know. I'm going to try to start working to get it out. I mean, these courts have got to be reformed. There's just no doubt about it. That abuse takes place on a daily basis. So anyway, I'm going to be back to your mom. Hope hope next time it's a little bit different, and also want to know where Sophie is. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah,
if they took her away like that.
I do too.
So anyway, hey, here's your mom. Here's your mom, Michael. Thanks so much.
Okay, sweetie.
Okay, you can stop sharing. You can stop, Queen. I'm not inside.
I removed it. Okay, you guys, what do you think about that? I'm going to drop the link. I need some input on this call. What do you guys think?
Mexico City is so deep into Mexico, and I thought I heard somewhere that he had just crossed the border. So when he was stopped, so I'm confused.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions after that.
Yeah. So the U.S. Embassy has it in for him too, huh? I mean, holy crap. This is really a huge conspiracy against
And
one
she was learning
person.
Spanish already. Like, seriously? I mean, come on now. He said they surrounded him in the car.
Yeah, but
I can't even get over that
say
shit.
one word about how scared that may have made his daughter? He was just talking about himself.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
I
It was
love how
all
he
about
said how he
him.
wanted.
Poor
you know
pitiful
where-
Mike.
Yeah, did y'all catch when he said he wanted to know? I mean, of course, he used her name, but he wanted to know where she was. And he said, oh, and the boys, of course, or something like that. I mean, it was like they were a last thought, like, toss them in there.
No, wasn't he already like 3/4 extradited and staying at the embassy or something? Like he wasn't in jail or whatever. Oh, he's knee deep in the jail, baby. He's in a cell with, what do you say, 19, at most 19 other men. Woo! He's done, son.
Well, I mean, why would Texas or Collin County go to the expense to extradite him when he steps back on U.S. soil? He could be arrested right there. I mean, you know what I mean? Once he's on U.S. soil, I mean, why would they spend whatever it costs to extradite him? He's just for what they want to put him in jail for. I don't know if they go through all that extradition. I do know that it's illegal to take a child without both parents' consent into Mexico. My husband and I wanted to go on a cruise, and my ex had to sign, the permission that he knew that we were going to be in Mexico with the children. So he even broke a Mexican law by taking her over there. Does he not realize that?
I'm still fucking cracking up that he's got the bottom bunk. That he sleeps under the bottom bunk, I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah, I thought he said on the floor.
It's like
Cultural experience. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, just Jill. So, I mean, he broke a Mexican law. Does he not understand that?
what's up with the drugs planted on him? What the fuck? What's going on with that?
Oh, well, we know he works. So how else did you think he was going to make any money over there?
Well, okay, wait. Doesn't this debunk his meth head stole his money from his altar?
Well, maybe they came into Mexico and did it.
Oh no. That's why he had to go. Remember? That's why he had to go. That's why he had to take off.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with all those stories. I wonder how long they were actually in Mexico. They had to be there quite a while. Yeah, the gun deal is huge in Mexico, even if it's unloaded, even if you have no ammo.
He said a fucking witch hunt. Are you serious? A social media witch hunt. The Red
Yeah.
Banyan. I am not hired by the Red Banyan. I would swear I'm not. They
Queen.
do not hire people like me. I'm not even good enough to be defending Kelly on here, so, according to some people, but that's okay.
Right, right.
Look, Good Egg said I'm putting money on he was in Mexico right around when he posted his shitty ass song on YouTube. His tunes and tear in my beer in his bucket.
Yeah, I like that witch hunt. Like he was so innocent. Oh, there was a witch hunt. I don't know. I guess he knew exactly who the witch hunts were after. Yeah, and I guess I'm being blamed for it.
Yeah, so I mean he okay, what's his charges for Mexico? I missed that. So yeah, what are his charges in Mexico and what are his charges here? That's what we really need to get down to the bottom of.
We probably want Good Egg to come up. She probably can explain all that because she probably knows. Mexico is, from what he said, being caught with drugs. I don't know if he.
Look,
Oh,
she said,
that's
I
what
mean, the man
happened.
is saying that he was arrested as a case of mistaken identity. He is insane.
Right, right. Oh, Kane, if you Google it, hey Queen, how much time can you get? You can get up to 5 years, but you can get longer if it's a federal offense. Is it like 12, Queen?
What? I'm sorry.
Is it like if okay, so on a normal, if you're caught with a gun, just caught with a gun, unloaded, no ammo, doesn't matter. You can get
Well,
up to
Gooding
5
says here
years.
Mexico was intent to distribute. He says they found 154 grams of weed on him. And I mean, an ounce is 28 grams. So, I mean,
But they planted it, don't forget. He clearly said they planted it on him. I think he said the US Marshals
yeah, I mean, I
planted it
think
on
he
him.
got confused because who the fuck takes drugs into Mexico? No, you buy them down in Mexico, you get them cheaper down there. You don't fucking take them down there. You come on now. You've got to be smarter than this.
I'm like, right. Another
Oh,
Michael
but don't
Long.
forget it was planted. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Oh, they planted it on me." I think he said the US Marshals planted it on him. But I'm not sure if it was, but I think that's what he said. I mean, this is do y'all think he believes this stuff in his brain? I mean, we know that there's issues, but do y'all think he actually believes it?
Oh, hell,
He-
he's blaming Lisa. She said I planted the drugs on him. It was my assignment for Red Banyan.
Well, she understood the assignment. Glad somebody got an assignment right.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
Put that to
I've
some,
had it. I have had it.
put that to some TikTok music, understanding the assignment. Oh yeah, crime. Huge conspiracy theorist. See, always me. I mean, the way he talks and he's said it for so long, it's like he believes it, but he doesn't even know what his reality is the problem. How Rachel Lee planted it on him.
Yeah, I can't believe half the shit he said. I mean, he really, I mean, he's like, and nobody knows where Sophie's at. I don't know where she's at. You're not supposed to. Like, you've
I
lost your
know.
right. That's not, you don't get that right. You don't have that right anymore.
What, like he's supposed to have sympathy? It's been 3 whole months and he's supposed to have sympathy.
Oh, wait. He's like, wait, the U.S. Embassy, they haven't even checked on me. They haven't really done anything at all for me. They just call to make sure I'm not being, they just call to make sure I'm not getting beat up. That's it. That's all. They don't do nothing else for me. I just have to, figure it out on my own. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do when you're in prison, when you're in jail. You gotta fucking figure it out. You gotta, and it's a bitch, but you gotta figure it out on your own.
Learning the new culture. He
But
gets
he
to,
doesn't sound like he's really doing too bad, honestly. He sounds like
no,
he's
he
fitting in
sounds
just
fine to
fine.
me. I mean, he doesn't sound, I mean, I didn't hear what he said he got to eat.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Cap.
What's up?
What?
This like this had me rolling today. Okay, like
I
this.
died laughing, girl, when I heard him talking all that shit. I'm like, oh no, oh no.
The only benefit of the doubt I'm going to give here is that the Mexican government is shady as fuck, and like I've had multiple encounters with them because I live really close to Mexico, and I used to go down there a lot. Okay, and I used to raise hell. They will say you did shit when you didn't and demand money, like basically, right? But with Mikey's track record, I don't know about all that. And this guy over here, right? He's not saying he's arrested on mistaken identity. He's complaining that they made sure that he was the right Michael Long. Like, why would you fucking think that's weird? That shit happens all the time. There were 1,500 fucking people in the last 5 years falsely arrested in LA County alone. Okay, so you're down in Mexico. You better be fucking grateful that they made sure you were the right Michael Long. You fucking idiot. And
Right.
he's describing all these regular, normal procedures and saying, it was really weird. They had me against the wall and they took my picture. Bitch, it's called a mugshot, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, girl, when he said that, he's like, the U.S. Embassy, they really haven't even done anything for me. They haven't called, they haven't checked on me.
goddamn right they
They
haven't.
they just made sure I wasn't getting beat up. That's all. I'm like, did you forget where the fuck you was? For real.
Oh my god, dude, I swear to God.
They don't give a fuck about you, sir.
Oh, it's
They don't give a shit.
I swear. And then he's like, it was really weird. They pulled us over with their guns drawn. What? Like that's never happened before or something? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they had the car surrounded. What? When you took off with your daughter, what did you think was gonna happen? And I know he wasn't thinking about what I'm so Sophie was
Bitch,
probably like, what the hell?
bitch,
I mean, and to keep it real, I'm sure Kelly was probably devastated. Like, goddamn, how much is my, you know what I'm saying? Her daughter's been through a lot.
Oh
oh yeah.
yeah.
Bitch, they fucking pull people over with guns drawn for traffic tickets in the United States. With some
Right,
so I
right.
didn't want to hear this little bitch boy complaining. Dude, like he's so fucking stupid. Like I can't, dude.
Like okay, so first of all, you have a kidnapped child with you and 5 pounds of weed. Yes, you're going to fucking jail. Hello. Yes.
I,
But Queen, they planted the weed.
Or five, when I say 5 pounds, 5 ounces, whatever. I mean, shit, he had, a considerable amount. Shit. Shit.
Well, with his headaches and all, we can't expect for him to try to make a living over
A
there.
quarter pound at the least, okay? Just a quarter pound at the least.
A quarter pound.
Shit, that's what he. I mean, you get that cheaper down there. You're supposed to buy it down there, not take it down there with you.
I know. Fucking
Well,
worse.
so if he had that much on him and a gun, was he trying to sell it? What was the? I
I
mean,
don't know.
was
That's
that
what
just
he got
his?
was intent to distribute them. That's what they said. So
So
How long was he down there for? He said something about like, oh, it was really
well, he had
intense.
to have been down there longer than what he said because, you
he said
know,
Sophie
He's
was enjoying learning the new culture.
and she started to learn Spanish and like
Yeah.
like what for fucking like a couple days. Like I don't understand. Like how long was he? I thought he was only down there a couple days.
Well, apparently he had been down there for a while, and it's so far from the friggin' border.
Yeah.
I mean, he was deep into Mexico. He wasn't on no damn border.
No. Yeah. He was in Mexico City.
Yeah.
It's a good fucking
The way
15
he
hour
talked,
ride.
they had been there for a while. They were going to a friend's house.
Oh man.
I mean, so, and they had been in
well, I mean,
Sonoma before that.
19 men in a 10 by 10, it can't be comfortable.
He's like, I got a bed now,
Could
but
not fucking be comfortable.
I
Shit.
got a lower bed now though.
I'm grateful I never had to experience that. Shit, I've been to fucking jail and but it ain't been that fucking bad. It ain't been that bad at all. Like, at all.
I got lucky
Egg
so many times down there in Mexico. Oh god, yeah. I was so fucking lucky to have money on me, bitch. Those fucking federales are shady.
Good
Girl.
Egg said she thinks that he went down there mid-November-ish.
Okay. So she was starting to learn the language. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Enjoying the culture and still not in school.
Well, of course she was enjoying it. She wasn't in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
But
oh, Lord.
she had to miss school. I mean, poor
I mean,
kid.
it's like even when even when kids are like my daughter will make excuses how she doesn't want because they're back in going back into regular school now. They're no longer on Zoom school anymore here.
Right.
And but when she was in Zoom school, she wanted to go back to school so freaking bad.
Oh yeah.
And now she wants to go back to Zoom school. But I mean, it's the grass is always greener with kids. They're always gonna miss like even like because kids want to be held accountable. They want structure. They want stuff like that. Even though they're having fun and enjoying it, there's something inside of them that's like, you know what, I should probably be doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
school or whatever, right? But I
And her
can't.
mom had her into, all different things. So I mean, to go from that life to no interaction with children her age and doing normal things, and
Oh
I
my
mean,
God, good egg. That part right there. We just went down here, so we could give the appeals some space. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Those documents take up a lot of room. You
Poor
just said
poor
the
mom.
dumbest shit.
Maybe his idea of learning Spanish is the same as his idea of homeschooling. That's a good point.
Well, last we heard that Sophie was into architecture, so who knows? She's getting Spanish. I can't with this school.
Of course, she knew something was wrong. I mean, she lived an absolutely normal life with her mom, so she knew that that life wasn't right. I mean,
Every single part of processing, he explained it and either said strange or weird. It was so strange. Like I just can't get over that. I know didn't he get arrested on a DUI before? He's been arrested before. Doesn't he knows like how shit works? I
well,
mean, you could.
probably because it's been in the USA. I mean, now he's in Mexico. I don't know what he thinks they're supposed to do down there.
I mean, it pretty much sounds like it wasn't that different aside from the embassy and marshals being involved.
Yeah,
You
but I
know what
mean,
I mean?
he
Like
seems,
I'm talking about the basics though, like the
yeah,
guns drawn and the mug shot. Like that's gonna
yeah.
happen.
But his confusion on how things work and whatever. Well, sweetie, you are not in the US of A.
Right.
It's going to
Yeah,
work a little different there.
super weird. He got arrested for crimes. It's really bizarre. It's really, really bizarre.
I really love how, yeah, I really love how they planted it on him. I mean, this conspiracy I don't think it could get any deeper. We've now got the U.S. Embassy. I bet the White House is on speed dial. They're the ones doing it.
I mean, even if Mexico did like lie about this like said substance with intent to sale or whatever, he still crossed the border with the kid he kidnapped. So like
Yes.
they can still put him in jail down there. They might have lied about that shit. Who knows? To try to get money out of him, and maybe they're keeping him there, and maybe he's telling lies about money. Who knows?
Well, he's saying that the U.S. Marshal planted it on him, so they were in cahoots.
The U.S. Marshals.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. If you listen, I'm pretty sure. So, but the whole thing is the U.S. Marshals were in cahoots with the federales, who then everybody is in cahoots with the U.S. Embassy.
Oh,
And
Lord.
Collin County, damn, is just not that. Then they're just not going to go to those links. Collin County is
I mean, I
controlling it
really,
all.
I've heard him on a roll before, but this interview, he was on a roll. Like he was on a good roll, and he sounded pretty sober too. That's what's even more fucking troubling.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so hard. Like the whole he's just so shocked that he was arrested for a crime and that they took his picture and that they had guns on it. I mean, oh my god, like that's insane, Michael Long. That's crazy. You need an attorney because it's super corrupt, bro.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It was fun to listen to today. It really was, and I liked it. Like he was saying, like what was he saying? Something about did he say Wheelus or somebody.
Oh
Somebody
yeah,
was
he's like, what kind of names? What we need to get these names out here. What names you want to put out? He's like, well, Wheelis for sure. I mean, I want her attacked some more. I want her like, you know what I'm saying? That was like, I swear to God, that's like what he was saying. He was thinking. He didn't say that, but that's like what he was definitely thinking for sure.
That's basically what he was thinking. And when he hung up that phone in jail and Jeannie got to talk to the interviewer guy, she was like, Wheelis is a child trafficker. She said that shit,
Oh, and
dude.
Rachel Lee, don't forget her. She definitely had something to do with that for sure.
Child
Like
trafficker.
seriously, he couldn't wait to throw them names out there.
I mean, you know what's kind of sad though is that there are cases that are handled very poorly, and there are really fathers that get screwed
And
out
it's
of their.
dumb shit like this that fucks them cases up. You know what I mean? And
Oh, hell yes.
I mean, like, what's his name? What was his, Snipes? Judge Snipes. Like he dropped the ball and made mistakes, but on both ends, he didn't fucking violate either one of them for breaking orders, right? But somehow Michael is the only one that is being targeted here, and they let him leave the court and go take off with his daughter. But I don't understand what he doesn't. What I don't know. I don't understand how he feels targeted. But I'm not in a crazy person like him. So
Yeah.
I swear to God, with this case, with the Wells case, and some of the people, some of the creators, I think back to the Michael Long case, like, oh, they would have so supported Michael. It's fucking hilarious. Like I watched some lady last night that has her third eye open, and she thinks that Trisha's hiding Summer in her house, and I'm just like, that's a
you know
Michael.
what? I thought that was a parody. I really
I
did.
did
Like
too.
that
It was
was.
real, bitch.
I was like, you know what? Since Trisha lies so much, I think this lady's doing this to get back at her for lying so much. But then, like, I realized she was like serious, and I'm like, oh hell, motherfucking no! There's no way. I can't. I couldn't even watch it because I knew I'd comment. I couldn't do it.
No, I did, because Murray passed me the link, and I was like, I went there, and I was like, well, what are we looking for, guys? Is this a parody? And they blocked me. But I was like, that is a Michael Long supporter right there. Like a good majority of these people that are into these conspiracy theories with trafficking and the Summer Long case, I'm just like, God, these people are so far from thinking logically. It's just insane, dude. It's kind of scary, actually, low key. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he did. Savage said Mike sounded so defeated, not knowing what to do next, doesn't have the internet, said he isn't sure what to do. How sad. He did. He sounded really sad. Like, I talked to my mom.
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
Nobody will tell me anything.
Oh, God.
The U.S. Embassy won't, tell me what's going on. So it's all corruption, all of it. Everybody's against him.
I wish Mexico had a database.
He said this internet smear campaign. Okay, but first of all, you tried to threaten people's lives. Talking about you were going to blow somebody's head off and shit, Mike Long.
I wish that they had a database in Mexico for people that are incarcerated, and we could try to figure out fucking who's in jail with them and give them an interview. That'd be so fun. We'd need like a translator, but shit, it'll work. I know some Spanglish. I could probably pull it off. Just kidding. But yeah, I thought it was funny.
Well, and he asked him, he's like, how many men in there have a degree? He turned around, he's like, one, and he's a anthropologist or something. I don't fucking know what he said, but
What the damn difference does it make, man? Do you get more frijoles for dinner?
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing just because like his, if there's, you know what I mean? If there's anybody with a I
Any
mean, I guess maybe
brains
he's asking
besides
like helping with the
Michael?
paperwork and shit. Like who, asking like, is there anybody in there that's smart enough to help you with your paperwork, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or anybody that's smart enough on your level that you can talk to, like that's like speaks English and stuff like that.
Fucking Michael.
Yeah, that was wow. I can't believe they even did this.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And just think, this asshole is the one that brought us all together, ladies. Just
Oh,
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
This is the asshole that brought us all together. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have met
Donna.
you awesome, beautiful people without this asshole right here.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Had he not pulled his fuck shit, we never would have met you guys.
That guy can't, like,
Cheers to Mike's fuck shit. Only because I met you awesome people.
that fool can't raise money anymore to save his life, though. Like, he really thought he was going to cash out with Rekieta Law, and it was so funny to watch all of Nick Rekieta's supporters, like, donate to him and not to Michael. That was so funny. That was so much fun.
Yeah, he really did think he was going to get some money.
Yeah, that didn't work out. Would the
I mean,
GoFundMe like $500 or something?
yeah, and I mean, Nick's got a huge following, so
Yeah, and he gets a lot of donos, a lot of donations.
and I mean, those are all women hater men, most of them.
Oh,
They
God.
have. So it says a lot that he didn't get very much from them, because I mean, that's the type of people they are. They would take happiness in any woman getting messed over. You could tell that by the way they act.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be pregnant and in the kitchen for all they care. Just be quiet. Oh, it's disgusting to read their chat or listen to them. They have no. Ugh. I can
He's
imagine being married to somebody like that. Ugh.
3 boy mom. He's gonna
What's she
walk.
saying?
He's gonna walk out with a teardrop tattoo. Oh, that's funny. Hilarious. Who came out a
Yeah,
winner?
Jamie Graham. She got a new office, didn't she? After that.
Yeah, remember Jamie and Sarah on Annie's channel, and they stopped for it. Like, let me just tell you guys for a minute. Nobody gets rich in these cases. Nope, no one except for y'all. Like,
Right.
oh Lord. And Courtney
Takes.
going and buying her like her $3,000 worth of fucking cowgirl clothes.
Still don't make her a cowgirl.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Jeez.
I think she was boosting that shit, because why the fuck would you go shopping like 3 times in a day and then go and spend another $1,000 the next day? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
Yeah, you could.
that's
I mean,
something going on there.
from all that time with no money to going out and having all that money, and then trying to claim that, oh well, we spent a large amount on, what was it, living expenses. Right. Well, I mean, hell, your groceries were paid for and you had all them diner,
Well, yeah, and I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I know people may not agree with this, but I think Courtney is a lot more responsible. She's just as much responsible for all the shit as he is.
I agree too.
The GoFundMe was in her name. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't forget all this bullshit. Like, there's a whole lot of shit that we did not forget.
Yeah.
Well, she was the one who continued to like ask all the weirdo questions.
Oh
like,
yeah, and I still have the where he tried to lie, and he's like, we needed something more, we needed something spectacular, we needed something whatever, and then he's like, that's when he starts saying that his daughter was jumping up and down on someone else's private area, and I was like, you fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Courtney is fucking. She played a big old hand in this shit.
Yeah, she played a big ass role in it, and I definitely feel like she you know, at some point in time, whether she, you know, if she doesn't pay for it now, she'll definitely pay for it with karma. You know, they don't. Karma does not have a deadline. That's for sure.
Well, to act like she was a victim or anything after she left, I just don't comprehend that. There's no, I can't really
Yeah.
wrap my brain around it because I see her way too much, especially with her leading questions, her leading and the recording. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure if those, oh, I couldn't imagine recording my grandchildren 24/7. I couldn't.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Of course, the baby's kind of figuring out when you're holding the phone up, it's really cute. She's got that down.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they have anything to like really arrest them on, like as far like the majority of the time he was on U.S. soil, he was like I don't know if it'd be called absconding. I guess it would for a failure to appear, which is like aiding and abetting doesn't really go with that. However, after they charged him with the felony interference,
Yeah.
then I don't know what what they were doing at that point or where they were with him or they whatever they were doing, but
Yeah, that's the complicated part is knowing when legally, you know, once I mean he crossed over into Mexico and he was not her legal guardian because that had already been determined. So
yeah, and he's like, and I have no idea where Sophie is.
I
That's not
know it's
And I'm
been
like, well, you're not her fucking legal parent anymore. Why does any of this shock you?
right.
I don't get it.
And tell him it's been 3 months. He neglected to tell how long he had stolen her from her mom
Right.
with no word, no knowledge, no nothing. He knows that she's taken very good care of. He knows that. Took that Oklahoma bunker into Mexico. Yeah, I think that his help went a long way. Oops. Cappy, if I drop off, it's because my phone died. I think I think my little charger has some to it though.
My laptop's really low too.
My husband bought me this thing that I can plug. What is it? Like a battery pack thing? It's
I did notice that, Lisa. And he also said something about her turning off her VPN was part of like how they found them or something.
oh
Like
dear. So he blamed her for that, for getting caught basically too.
kinda, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. Crazy ass fool.
I don't think anything is his fault. That's
It never is.
mm-mm. No.
They took a picture of me.
I'm surprised. You're cracking me up. I can't understand.
It's so funny, dude. Like, ugh, I laughed my ass off today when I had to listen to it again just to make sure I caught it right. Like I was like,
Oh,
did he really say that? Like, oh,
yeah. My husband was like, "Why are you even listening to that?" And then I explained to him, and he's like rolling his eyes because it's like some of what he was saying was, even if you didn't know the whole story, the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. Marshal, you know,
Yeah, everything's super corrupt because he's like a celebrity, and people
Oh
just
yeah.
want to take him down, and everybody's involved. Like once like once they hear about Michael Long is in their like within a mile from them, they're gonna end up
I'm
because he's
surprised that
a
even in
celebrity.
Mexico, do you think that they had to get additional guards in Mexico because celebrity status would go down that far too?
You never know. They
I mean,
might.
if the corruption's going to follow him, so does the celebrity status. He's trying.
I wish they would. I don't think they have body cams down there, but that'd be so great if they did, and we got a hold of that.
Oh, that
That'd be
would
funny.
be funny. Except for, like I say, the trauma, though, I can't imagine being a child sitting in the vehicle or getting out or whatever, and my father getting arrested with guns drawn. That would,
Yeah, actually, that wouldn't be funny because I
that,
didn't think
yeah,
about the fact that she's there, and that's
yeah.
the whole. Like, I didn't even want to think about the serious parts of it because she's finally away from him. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that she's doing what she's got to do wherever she's at, and but like he robbed her of having a father. He
Absolutely.
did. He robbed her of having a father. Just like it's not a happy and good thing that his parental rights were terminated. That's not a good thing because just because it's in Sophie's best interest doesn't mean she's not going to be sad about it, And
Right.
he didn't think about any of that,
No.
you know. It's like fucking disgusting. Disgusting. I think that he like really, to be totally honest, I think he sort of put all his eggs in one basket and just made a run for it, like kind of knowing he might get caught because I don't think he could handle doing it on his own. Because think about it, he's always had a woman there to pick up the slack of the actual
Oh,
like
exactly. Yeah.
cooking, cleaning, take care of the kid kind of stuff. And he was having to be by himself with her, so it's like I think he got fucking tired of it probably.
Well, yeah. He doesn't know how to be a caregiver. Of course, it's not like he was making sure they were given care prior to either. So,
I mean, right, but
at
like
their compound.
right, like I mean like on a lower scale than what she was used to with her mom.
Yeah.
But there was somebody to pick up slack while he stayed up all night and was on his phone and shit, to
Well,
hey
it
get
was
back or whatever every once in a while at the very least. But
what I can't understand though is because the grandma living there, she's going to know. She knows how much time he did or did not spend with her. I mean, she had to observe, and she was picking up the slack too. And how you can think that what you're doing is okay,
hmm,
because that at mom, she's taken care of, she's having fun and different activities, and here out on the land with you guys, well, it's whichever adults around that will respond to her, and we're just out here and nobody's around. I mean, I would think she would have thought that was not the best for the child, but I don't. No school. I mean, her kids had school, right? So
right.
I don't know.
Well, I think it's good too. Is like she, like the other guy, Jake. He's like they're separated, and she can just focus on her and her kids now. You
Yeah.
know, I think that that's really like a good thing.
Well, I just hope they're doing good. I mean, that's but kids are pretty residual. But
Yeah, there was oh my goodness, where did Queen Bee go?
I don't know, girl, because I know she got cigarettes before this started, so it must be one of the little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
My little one with the broke arm. I had to go put that little plastic thing around her arm so she could take a quick shower. Well, actually, her dad did because it's tight as hell. Have you guys ever had those before? You buy them at Walgreens and they it's super fucking tight at the top, but it like covers the cast or whatever.
Yes.
no.
So yeah, we had to put it
Yeah.
on. It was like really tight. So that's what I was doing. Sorry, girls.
I used to just put a trash bag on my arm. Like,
I'm so old. I had to hang my arm outside the bathtub.
I did that too, though. Like when I get low on my trash bags, like or if I had been low on the trash bags while I had my cast on, I just like jumped in, like shoop shoop shoop, do it all with my right. Actually, it was all with my left hand. Sorry, all with my left hand, hanging my right hand out.
Yeah, it was my left arm was broken in second grade. So I mean, we're talking ancient time, and it was, you know, you just hung your arm over the side and didn't get it wet, or you'd get a spanking. I mean,
I don't know, Audie. Yeah, you might. I don't know if Paige keeps in contact with her anymore. I haven't heard any her talk about her at all. Um, I don't know, Marlena. I don't know.
Oh,
I
you
don't
know
want to.
what? Yeah, she does stay in contact with her. I'm pretty sure. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard her mention her at all. Like I don't. I like last time. I think she talked to her was that one time she came on piano, but I have no idea. I have no idea. But hey, I gotta jump down here. Thank you for having me up here with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming up and chit chatting. I'm getting ready to end it anyways. I gotta, you know what I mean, get some stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec.
This shit was fucking really funny.
it really was the comedy of the week.
The shock, the utter shock.
I know.
Are you up here?
Hey, ladies.
Hey,
What's up, Chicky Chick? We
I
needed you
don't
to come up
even.
kind of explain. Oh, you know what else I wanted to do was ask about his paperwork, the shit he just filed on the very
Oh
deadline of
yeah.
the time he could file it.
Well, he has his mom filing everything for him because she has like power
Right.
of attorney. So he filed an extent. So they're going to hear the case on the 21st for the appeal, and he filed an extension to reply to her reply. And I was like, well, that's kind of out of nowhere. So I looked at the timelines, and he had like 20 days to reply, and they literally filed that on the 20th day. And for the last 3 extensions they've ever filed, it's on the day something is due. It's like insane. But they didn't have an excuse this time. They didn't have a good excuse. Remember, they had some good excuses before, like I lost my electronic calendar. I don't have Wi-Fi while I'm on the run in Mexico. But this time he didn't have an excuse for it. But hopefully they just deny it because it's going to be heard soon anyway.
Sorry, I'm here, girls. I'm listening to you. I'm braiding. I got to braid hair for bedtime. It's Sunday night, so I'm trying to get ready and do 2 things at once. But I was listening to you. Yeah, like I said, his fucking mom always files shit on the deadline. She always makes it like right at the very fucking deadline. Why is he still able to file shit? That's what I don't understand. Which I don't really understand all the court shit like that, anyways. You know, like all the you know what I'm saying, details or whatever. I don't understand how he's still able to file any kind of paperwork at all when he's already lost all of his rights, all of his
Well,
parental rights.
it's his appeal, right? He gets one appeal to appeal his parental rights.
So
And I
okay, I
guess
thought he already filed an appeal though.
this is the appeal, but it's still going on. It hasn't been heard. It's going to be heard on the 21st.
Like another part of it.
Yeah, if it's going to be heard, if it doesn't get moved again, it's supposed to be heard on March 21st, and that's it. They'll issue an opinion after that, and it's over. But I mean, I guess the reason why they keep doing it is, I think it's because they're clueless. Like, you know how he sounds completely clueless, like he doesn't know what's going on down there, and they didn't ever file a real appeal. Like the appeal they did never even said like, I appeal my parental rights being terminated. So there's nothing there. So I feel like they're just desperately trying to get extra time. I also feel like they're assholes, like constantly doing it on the day stuff is due. Like it's just a jerk move. But it's when you hear him down there, he sounds completely lost. He thinks that, you know, they think that he's this other Mike Long, and he thinks that the marshals got the federales they used a fake person to arrest him. And then once they arrested him, they knew that they couldn't keep him. So they gave him to the federales and planted drugs on him. Like, it's just, I just think these people are very dumb.
He was really annoyed with the fact that it wasn't him. he acted like that was a problem. I'm like, wouldn't you fucking be happy that they wanted to make sure like who the fuck you were?
Or listen, the other thing he said, I was laughing so hard, Cappy, when you were talking about him saying like really normal things were weird, because he's been doing it constantly. Because he's been doing it this whole time, saying like, oh, every time something goes wrong in court, it's weird. But when he's talking about something that we all know what happens when you get arrested, but he also said he goes to the woman, the investigator, and he's like, well, why were you guys down here looking for me? Because he said they found you through the phone. Why were you guys looking for me? She goes, someone higher up told us to. And he's like, I knew it. I'm like, of course someone higher up told them to do it. What are you talking about? That's where like directions come from in law enforcement.
Like, I don't fucking, I can't even, dude. I can't even. Like, the fucking audacity of them to take his picture against the wall and have firearms when they're law enforcement, and for fucking that investigator to have a fucking superior, to have a boss. Like, good lord.
Really? He's like, and it was police officers taking my picture against the wall. I'm like, who else is gonna take your picture? I can't. Like, he can spin anything. I'm just mad. I'm glad that he's sleeping under the bottom bunk on the floor. But I'm kind of pissed that he's getting like home cooked meals from his like cellmate's mother, who's bringing lunch and dinner every day. Because he said it was not the prison food was not agreeing with him. You know what that means, right? And like, I just hope this other guy gets released or bailed out or paroled soon, so he's back to prison food.
I and this is no shade at like people, like men specifically, that are incarcerated. The thing is that with the whole father's rights thing, there's a lot of deadbeat dads that are locked up that will buy into that bullshit and be like, oh my god, like that's so true. Fuck my baby mama. Yeah, and I can see him making friends, and like that's unfortunate. He's probably not having as hard a time as we'd like to hear. But like, there's gonna be one smart fool that's gonna be like, hey, I'm the leader. You're not the leader. Like he'll just I don't know. I feel like he probably doesn't really care that he's there because he's a bum.
Oh, Cappy, we have Jeff Morgan in the chat, Queen.
No, dude,
he wants the link.
Oh Lord,
he seems polite. I mean,
no,
his videos are crazy. Or like yeah. But just letting Queen know.
Well, like, I want to say what I said before, is that there are a lot of cases that are handled horribly. There are a lot of situations where men do get like screwed out of their rights, and what you're doing is probably good. I don't know much about your channel and what you do, but this is not the case, homie.
Exactly.
The link's posted.
Yeah. He said post your number, but that link that says StreamYard, you just click on that, Mr. Morgan.
I think that Good Egg, you should ask him questions.
I hope that he enjoyed his time on. I hope that he enjoyed his time on the land. Remember, Jeff? Mike's like, I hope you enjoy your time on the land, like that scrap of dirt out in the middle of like Texas nowhere, and like Mike acts like it's a resort or something like that.
Fucking Good Egg's going the fuck in right now, dude.
I was so happy today. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to Jeannie and John and Alyssa for making this happen for me today.
Oh my god, dude. I can't. Like.
All right. He says he needs a few minutes.
I want to know if Jeannie pulled him aside and let him know that Wheelis is a child trafficker or not.
Well, of course, it goes all the way to the top. All the way to the top. There's Interpol, there's Interpol, there's the U.S. Embassy, there's the U.S. Marshals, and then at the very top, we have Jake's stepdad, and then that's how it all works.
I fucking died when he was like, the U.S. Embassy really ain't doing much for me. Not much at all.
Like,
they really don't.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not special, Michael. I can guarantee you that there's a lot of Americans that are incarcerated in Mexico. And guess what? Like, if you weren't Andrew, what was that? Oh, the Max Factor error. Like if you are
Okay.
a billionaire down there, they're not
Mhm.
gonna care about what the fuck you're doing down there. Even Andrew Lester, they didn't care about
Mhm.
him because he was giving money to the Mexican government and the federales and shit like that. So it's all fucking, that there is real corruption down there. I doubt Michael is a victim of it though. Like he might
No.
be. They might have lied on him, but the thing is he crossed the border committing a real crime that wasn't a lie.
Right. I mean, it's insane. Like, I don't believe, like, why would they need, they're arresting them. They're working with U.S. Marshals. They're only there to assist the U.S. Marshals on this international warrant they had, right? The provisional warrant. That's the only reason they're there. They're there because it was worked out between the two countries. And all of a sudden they're going to decide, oh no, we're just going to plant some drugs on him, mess up this whole extradition process and try to keep him. Like, it's the dumbest thing. And he said in that interview, he goes, I had, and then he stopped, he goes, they said I had 154 grams of marijuana.
Oh god, that's good stuff right there. Like the only thing I can think of is if
Okay, is this Jeff?
Yes, it is. How are you doing? This is Jeff.
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. And who are you? Who am I speaking with?
This is Queen Bee.
Oh,
This is my channel, and we have a couple other ladies up here with us.
okay, so Queen Bee. Who else am I speaking with?
I'm
And
Kathy.
Kathy. Okay, and who else?
I'm Good Egg.
Good. Three boy mom. I don't know. Anyway, hey, listen, I'm going to keep my camera off right now because I wasn't really prepared for this.
No,
you
you're
mind.
fine. I have the cover over it, so no, we can just hear you. If you'd like me to take it off, I can, but it's your voice is fine.
No, I'm good. So somebody just sent this to me, and I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna have a dog in the background. The dog wants to go out right now, but I'm gonna try to keep him quiet for a little bit. But I heard a couple of things, so I've been very much involved with this. I've heard somebody was talking about fathers' rights. I think if you take a look at my YouTube channel, I talk about fathers and mothers. I talk about everybody. I talk about the corruption in our court system. I realize that there are good people that get punished. I realize that there are bad people that get rewarded. I've seen perjury take place and perjury goes unpunished. And I've seen people telling the truth that the truth gets used against them in ways that it never should. And up in Collin County in particular is where this took place. I've been in the courtroom in Collin County. I've seen stuff taking place and I've made reports. So with regard to Michael Long, number one, I didn't get paid to go down. Somebody made a comment. I've got paid money to do this. I work full time. I took a day off of work. I drove at my own expense. Gas is over $4 a gallon right now. I think I got it for $3.79 and something like that. So I didn't pay the whole $4, but I did this on my own penny. And prior to going down to Michael's place, I actually went to go court watching in Burnett County. I was watching a case, and it's regarding Cindy Burnett. Cindy Burnett had interference with her visitation to her son, interfered with 110 times over the course of 5 years. It's over 110 times, actually. So when I said that I'm not a father's rights, not whatever right, I'm for the rights of children to have access to both parents. I think divorce is too easily granted. I think that there are a lot of things that the courts really overstep themselves. And in fact, what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, while we're talking here, I'm going to get the most recent one that I did with Cindy, because that way you'll see that I am not pushing a men's right agenda, as I think somebody said. I am pushing a human right agenda. I've been all over the country doing this. You may disagree with me, which is completely fine. You're allowed to do that, but I'm going to send you the link right now so that you'll see what I'm doing here, and it's going to be in the chat. If you want to make it public, go ahead.
I'm the one who said that. I wasn't sure about exactly what your channel was about. I wasn't sure if you were from the father's rights people, because I know that Michael's dealt with a lot of channels that advocate for father's rights specifically. But no, I do agree with you. There's a lot of craziness and negligence in the court system, and horrible things happen. There's just, I feel like maybe, like, how long have you been following the Long case? Like,
so the Long case, I believe it was in Collin County last year, and people wanted me to go up to it. And I said, because I'm not that far away from the courts, but again, I work full time.
Okay.
And I read the stuff and I said, I'm just not sure. For me, it's important that my reputation be maintained. I don't want to be going out on the limb for something and then find out that I'm really off. And I mean, it could happen. But what I do say is that I want to investigate to the best that I can first. There have been some things I've gone into that people thought I shouldn't have, and it's turned out well. So far, I don't think I've been wrong on anything. If there was something that I had questions about, I would take the video down. So I wanted to go for myself because I read the article, I read what was going on. I saw people saying, well, Michael was coaching Sophie. I saw a number of various things going on. So I said, I am just not sure that I'm going to put my neck out for this one. I don't know. So after seeing, after talking with other people, because I talked with a few other people that knew Michael, both men and women, by the way. There's a couple of women in Collin County courts right now, and they've said, have you heard about the Michael Long situation? And they're dealing with the same judges. They're dealing with Judge Cynthia Wheelis. They're dealing with an amicus attorney. Her name is Rachel Lee. Now, Rachel Lee was a little bit involved in this. Like I said, I've been in the courts up there. They know who I am. They call me the guy in the burgundy coat. And they've actually tried to get me kicked out on some occasions. I've had attorneys say, stay away, don't talk with this guy because he's got a YouTube channel. And what I'm trying to do is say that we need to have courts that actually pay attention to what's going on. Family courts are a joke. They're a circus.
Well, and yeah, you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I do agree with that. However, this is a different kind of case. I'm not sure that you followed it from the very beginning, and maybe you have. Maybe you have, and you know, if you have, that's great. Maybe we do have a difference in opinions. However, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like he used his child to basically used his child as a weapon against his ex-wife.
So
and he made up false allegations. Actually, I believe his ex-wife did. This is just my opinion. You know what I mean? But in what we've went through, there has been no proof of any kind of allegations that he's made.
So I will tell you this. I was down, as you mentioned, I was down at their place. I went into Sophie's bedroom. I saw Sophie's bedroom. So, I mean, I have a little bit of firsthand information. I was asking questions. Before I spoke with Michael, I spoke with the parents. This was because I want to say, okay, I've seen some of the documents. I've talked with other people. I talked with his parents, and then I talked with him. And everything was 100% consistent. So what I will tell you is that there are issues that if you were a mother and if you thought your child was being sexually abused, you would be furious if the courts gave your child to the father or to whomever that was sexually abusing a child. And Michael is doing the exact same thing. The courts are not really concerned so much with the sexual abuse of children. They say they are, but there's a lot of times they hand a child over to an abuser. And again, I know women right now, women that are following me, that are saying this is actually happening right now to them. So it's not a man's issue. It's not a woman's issue.
So I have a question. I have
Sorry.
a question for you. Do you make it a point to defend men who have actually abandoned their children and come back later on? Or while the mothers hold it down and pay for everything and take care of the children? Is that something you'll typically pat men on the back for, or is it just this case?
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, let me go back to what I really am about. I'm about the issue of the no-fault divorce and the lack of family formation. So no-fault divorce becomes forced divorce. It happens to both men and women. I've known men that it's happened to. I've known women that it's happened to. And our divorce doctrine in the state of Texas parallels that which Vladimir Lenin instituted in Bolshevik Russia. And what did he do it for? He said, destroy the family, destroy society. So, and it makes the way easier for socialism, communism to be put into our society. And the reason I say this is because the number one bulwark against, I should say the top two bulwarks against totalitarianism or socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it, are strong families and strong churches. Churches are often compromised and families are being destroyed indiscriminately for no reason. Both men and women are being put into jail for no reason, because a judge says that that's what's supposed to happen. And really what happens in many instances, there are attorneys who support the judge's campaign with financial donations. And these judges find favorable rulings because they are the people who support the judges. It is what
Okay.
it is. I'm just telling you that's what it
Yeah,
is.
no, Jeff, I think the issue is it's not, and to be fair to Jeff, I have like followed his channel, and it is true he does not just he's not just on the father's right sides of things. But however, Jeff, I think the issue is that your worldview when you're viewing the courts is that you're thinking of family court as fundamentally flawed, right? Do you think it's like a cartel? You think it's anti-family? You think that it's all corruption, that it's not the exception, it's the rule, that family courts are a negative force in society? And you're talking to people who do not have that worldview.
Okay, so
That's a conspiracy theorist worldview. And I see the other parents that you
defend your view. I have the evidence on my side. You defend your view.
Okay. Well, I think
defend your view. Tell me why. Tell me why you think the family courts are so just, because I will get.
But we're not talking about family courts. We're talking about Michael Long, and you're talking. You have an agenda to bring out the atrocities of family court.
You brought
that
the
is
point
your
up.
agenda. We're here about Mike Long, who you interviewed, and you don't know what type of father he has been. We've seen it with our own eyes. We've seen the text messages that are inappropriate between him and his daughter. We've seen him up all night. We've seen him introduce her to strangers and allow him to talk alone with them online. Do you care about any of these things? Are any of these things part of your agenda or no?
I absolutely do, but let me ask you a question.
Oh, you do know all of that, and you still support him as okay. Keep
going.
Say
that Blonderella. I did not. If that's who
I'm not Blonderella. What are you talking about?
Who am I talking to? There's somebody on the screen here. Who am I talking to right now? So
Savage is who you're talking to right now.
Okay, Babbage. So
Savage, Savage, Neff, Savage.
Oh, Savage. Okay, great. I didn't know. Like I said, there's a Blonderella up here that has a question up, and I didn't know if you were that person.
No.
So Savage. Your worldview, just like my worldview, will, and the view of the courts will color what we see. And I'm not saying I'm even right. I don't know.
That's my problem. You
okay,
don't
but you know what? Okay, so you know what? Neither do you. Neither do you.
Have you seen? Did you know that Michael abandoned his children?
I know a lot of stuff.
Okay, so you know that a parent, we're not even going to break it down to a man since you're not about men's rights, apparently. So a parent abandoned their 3 children and allowed the other parent to pick up the slack for more than 8 months. And you, if you're in family court, you know as well as I do, in family court, when you abandon your children and have no contact with them for that long, and you come back, this mother could have easily petitioned the court to have his rights either restricted or very, very minimalized because he had not been played an active role in their life.
So
she did not do that.
Do you realize that the mother could not keep her panties on?
We're not talking about a mother. We're talking about a parent. Remember, this isn't about sexism, right? Didn't you just say that?
Oh,
didn't you just say this isn't about men and women?
I'm just telling you that, if you're going to make this accusation,
did you know that he cheated on his wife and brought Sophie into the middle of that? Since we want to talk about panties, have you heard of Pantygate?
I don't know every single issue, but I do know
you don't. That's the problem. Educate yourself before you try to hop in like a savior to a situation. If you're worried about your reputation, you should be very worried now.
Well, good. That's fine. If my reputation, if I'm wrong, I will get up and I will admit it. That's something that I would like you to be able to do as well.
I will wait for that live.
Yeah, I think
Sophie right now. Where is Sophie right now? Does anybody know?
None of our business.
The people who matter know. Her guardian knows. Her mother knows. The people who have a right to know.
Where is Sophie? Sophie was down in
she has a right. Yeah, she's with her mother, safe now, probably, hopefully.
Well, that whether she's safe or not is another issue. If you take a look at what the court transcripts.
Well, she's definitely safe. I haven't heard of any police reports, unlike when she was with Michael. There's been no welfare checks either, have there?
So the welfare check and the police reports and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I'm glad that you decide that you have preconceived
preconceived. You obviously don't know everything, and that's the problem.
Nor do you, Savage.
You are trying to show the courts in Collin County and throughout Texas how corrupt they are, and you're using situations that are not part of that mission that you're on, and that's where your downfall is going to be.
So, you know, you may say that, Savage, but I will also tell you, too, that I do praise courts at the same time. In fact, when they do the right thing, I think we need to affirm them. And I can give you an example. Jesse Navarez, I was just out speaking with him. Jesse Navarez.
We're not talking about that case, nor are we talking about
I understand, but you know,
Michael Long. If you can't stay on, I don't understand why
well,
you can't stay on topic.
You're the one who introduces things. You do the hit
Stay
and
on
run
topic.
drive-by. Listen,
Yeah,
if you want to
topic.
treat
We're
me
talking about
respectfully,
Michael
treat me
Long.
respectfully. I'm sorry, but you need to, if you throw accusations at me, I get to respond, or that's not being.
What accusation did I throw at you?
You just said, well, you know, all you're doing is coming out to show how bad the courts are. The courts,
Well,
generally
is that not
speaking,
what you said? That's what you said. You're bringing to light the situations that are happening in family court that you disagree with that are corrupt or not correct.
Did I also say that I affirm good things? Yes or no? I did say that. Yes. Did I not?
Well, of course,
say that?
100% of everything isn't bad. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then don't make me 100%er. I do think that a lot of the stuff that takes place in family courts, from what I've seen, is terrible. And
a lot of stuff is terrible in family
So you agree
court.
with me? Thank you, Savage.
But
I'm so glad that you agree with me.
this isn't a case of that, and that's what you're not understanding. You're trying to protect people against a flawed system, and the people that you're trying to protect are the people that actually have received justice, which is exactly why his ass is in jail where it needs to be.
How do you know? Have you seen everything?
Yeah.
I can produce documents that you haven't seen.
I've seen a parent abandon their children like they were trash and didn't come back for 8 months because he was with some other hoe who he then later married and left for another hoe. So if you want to talk about not being able to keep panties on, let's talk about the zipper that keeps popping open, since you're all about people's rights, human rights.
I am not saying, look, that's the biggest issue that I've seen, and I talked with them about that too. So I'm aware of. I don't know every single sort of detail, just like I don't know every sort of detail regarding Sophie's mom. I'm not into that. I want to say what is just, what is right.
Then you should know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the court really did a number against Kelly.
Right.
They have done. It's been despicable what they've done to Kelly.
Well, but he doesn't care about that because Kelly has a vagina. Let's call it what it is. He just talked about her panties.
Come on.
He just talked about her panties.
You are a sexist.
You came in here.
You are a sexist.
So you came in here saying she couldn't keep her panties on.
Exactly.
You got disrespectful as far as women go.
Well, you know what? You made some accusations, and I'm going to say that, you know what?
I didn't make the accusations. I said I didn't know anything about your channel. I wasn't sure if you were from the Father's Rights Movement team or whatever.
Now we know that you are,
in most instances in family court, you will have two people, and both bring in baggage. Both bring in their misdeeds, whatever. That's a fact of the matter.
That is a fact.
So all I'm just saying is, don't demonize one person without saying, hey, the person that you're demonizing may have legitimate reasons. And
agreed. And in the same breath, don't protect somebody who is a fucking demon. I'm out.
Well, you know what? There may, if he's a demon, there may be two demons. There may be three demons. What about Bellington, Jake Bellington?
Jeff, just to stop here for a second, right? I mean, I'm not gonna say all the sordid details of Mike's life, because I don't have this belief that you have about marriage, right? That, you know, that no fault divorce is kind of destroying our society and that it shouldn't be easy to get divorced. Mike is the man who has had 3 wives and was engaged in cheating. He already had the next one. He's already had a sexual relationship with the next one when he filed for divorce 3 times and is now with a 4th person. I don't care about that, but and I also think that that any woman is allowed to have and as much consensual sex as she wants to. So it really doesn't matter where her underwear is.
After she's married.
Sure. So what I'm saying is that it's pointless.
Well, then what's the purpose of marriage?
I don't see. That's the thing. You're talking to people who don't share your worldview.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's good to know.
And that has nothing to do with Mike, because Mike does not respect marriage whatsoever. He's had 3 marriages. He filed for divorce 3 times, and he was cheating on all 3 of them by the time he filed divorce. He's already cohabitating with the next woman. So it just seems strange to champion his cause, if that's what you feel so strongly about.
I am not championing his cause. What I have said is that I'm doing is that, number one, where's Sophie? That's what I said. Where's Sophie Long?
She is with her legal guardians, and nobody else is allowed to know where she is. Because if you're a parent, I don't know if you are, Jeff, I am, people in the public don't just get to demand to know where my kid is. She's
Well,
with her legal guardians. That's it. That's all it's ever going to be.
He is her father, and there are grandparents involved as well. Now,
Not legally anymore.
Well,
Not
you know
legally
what?
anymore.
I know, because that's where I say that, you know, the courts terminate rights often for no reason or for little reason. And I've seen
Well,
it
in this
happen to
case,
men and women.
there was a lot of reason.
Well, you know what?
He
That is
kidnapped
your
her, Jeff.
opinion.
He kidnapped her and brought her to Mexico and was pulled over. She had to come out with federales surrounding the car with guns where he had drugs. He didn't have her in school for 2 years. He's a bad, bad parent, Jeff.
So I do not know about that. And I'm just saying.
Hey, Jeff, let me say this right before I jump off because I got to go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you had stated something regarding.
Yes, Lisa, I have read the court docs. I have the court docs, actually.
Okay, so you said something regarding he's just protecting his daughter, right? So around, what was it, December 19th or something, of 2020, the court date where the boys had to go back, and he basically was like, you know, kind of made a deal in mediation. The boys could go back as long as he could keep his Sophie, and, you know, along with some serious accusations towards his son, which he felt were learned from SA, which stands for, you know, SEXAB. Okay, but he sent them back into that environment.
I don't know that he will. I don't really know that he would have had a choice.
Well, he ran. No, he ran with his daughter though. So why would he have ran with all three?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because if I were in that position, maybe I would have done so.
That's, I mean, there's a, I don't know. There's a lot.
That is your thought that he's a fraud, but you cannot prove that.
We've been pretty intimately involved in seeing everything, you know, for a long time.
How are you intimately involved? How are you intimately involved?
Okay, that's bad. That's a bad thing. But as much as anybody could possibly know, because to be fair, this man has flooded the internet with unbelievable amounts of information. So if you were paying attention, if you were following and you're paying attention, you could know ungodly amounts of stuff about his life, which we have been doing, unfortunately, since August 2020. And so as much information as anyone who is not living in his home could possibly know, Jeff, we know it.
Well, all I know is that I have, when you talk about information, I have a lot. And when I say a lot of information, I'm talking about a lot of information. I did not follow it from the beginning, as I said. What I
Oh, we can tell you didn't. We can tell you didn't.
Well, I can
now
tell
here,
you
look,
also.
he said the courts. Now, look, he couldn't get the courts to do what he wanted. So here's a video of him that we're going to play real fast of exactly what he did to get the courts to believe him. This is exactly what he says. We had to get the courts. They wouldn't believe us, so we had to do something better. Listen to him. Go ahead and play it. Nana, can you play it? We can't hear it. You'll have to come back out and share the volume.
It's just muted. It just needs to unmute it. See it on the screen? You can see the little thing is muted.
Oh, hold on. I'll see if I can do it. No, it's unmuted. It just isn't playing. She's got to click that share audio button.
So listen, I might even have that video here. I don't know. But the question, all I'm saying is that I wanted to get on and interact with you. I don't know everything about it. I will tell you that right up front. And I said that right up front. And I think at the same time, what I've said, and you agreed with me, maybe, I don't know, I think I'm talking with Queen right now, but I mean, other people have said, yes, the family courts are bad.
Things that were being said, that what we had wasn't, needed something more exciting, more compelling to give the court. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Why does it keep going out like that?
Penis is probably enough. We tried to document along the way some of the things that were being said, that what we had wasn't needed.
Hey, why don't we just go over that right now? I've had this happen to me in court when people have tried to play videos, and actually it worked in my
Yeah, it's not. I don't know why it's not one to play, but
but don't worry. Listen,
it's
the discussion
definitely
is
him
not.
with his scamming ass ways.
Well, you know what? All I'm saying is that at this point in time, I haven't looked at everything. And I told you at the beginning, I did not go up there because I did not know. I was not willing to do something. If people could look at the video and say, well, he coached Sophie. And I asked about that. I'm willing to ask the truth, whatever it may be, and get the answer to it. But I think that for you to speak on behalf of Kelly and for me to
We're
speak
not speaking on behalf of Kelly.
Okay, but you know what? I would love, arrange it with Kelly. I'll go meet
Oh,
Kelly.
absolutely
No,
not. We
she's
do
not
not
gonna.
speak on behalf
She's
of
a
Kelly
normal
at all,
parent.
no.
She's a normal
Okay,
parent who
so
would never talk on YouTube about her kid. Normal parents don't do that.
Well,
It's never gonna happen.
Well, you know what? That is what you're saying, but I know a lot of normal parents that do talk about their kids because they have had their kids kidnapped either by their husbands or their wives or by somebody else.
I think we have a different definition of what's a normal parenting. And Jeff, our fight, our argument is really not with you.
Yeah,
our argument is really not with you, Jeff. You actually, that interview, we enjoyed it. It was really helpful. We did not even know what was going on with him. Now we know he's in prison. We like it. We are very grateful for that interview. It was pretty factual. You were just asking him questions and he was giving information. Now we have all this. We have a lot of updates and like we're happy about the interview, right? Like
fine.
we're not going to argue the whole thing. The courts are corrupt and that's why it didn't work out for Mike Long because that's just his delusion. Like we're not trying to argue that.
That may be the case. I've been in the courts up in Collin County, and I've had at least 3 people right now that are talking to me about Cynthia Wheelis and Ray Wheelis. There's another case down here that Ray Wheelis sent a case to somebody else. By the way, to the best of my knowledge, from what I've been told, Cynthia and Ray have had some issues right now. I don't even know if they're together at this point. There are issues that go on in these courts, and I've watched it personally because I could not believe it. I would go into the courts to say, is it really this bad? And every time I go into another court, it seems like it gets worse. So, and I'm not saying in every case. I've seen some judges that I think have at least let both people speak. But I'll tell you what I've also seen too is attorneys that inflame things because they know that by inflaming passions, they will get more money. I see judges that recommend all this counseling and psychological evaluation that basically will bankrupt people, and they're enriching their buddies. Look at Rachel Lee, the amicus attorney that was originally there. She is a good friend of Cynthia Wheelis. I believe she's thrown parties for Cynthia Wheelis and everything else. There's a conflict of interest right there. And all I'm saying is we must be able to trust the judiciary right now. And you could gather this from what I've said. I do not trust the judiciary. Some of the laws that we've done are really bad too, but I'm not talking about the legislature. I'm talking about the judiciary.
Well, yeah, and see, that's the problem is we understand that happens, and there are cases that does happen, and it's people like Mike who, it's people like Mike who dirty up the court system, and other people pay for it. That's the problem.
Let me ask you a question.
Problems like that, where he's, making false allegations, taking his child to multiple different doctor's appointments, having her do multiple essay exams, or, all this kind of crazy stuff. I mean, he's just. It's things like that cause parents who you are speaking of in these cases, who you speak of, who actually do have issues and who do have trouble, opposed to someone like him.
So Queen Bee, let me ask you a quick question here, if you don't mind. And this is just for conversation purposes, because we were talking just a little bit about the court, and you said, well, it happens sometimes in the courts. Let me ask you, it's a very simple question. It's not a trick question. Can you tell me what the best interest of the child means?
Well, I mean, the best interest of the child means exactly that. What is in the best interest of the child?
So how do you determine the best interest
of the child? But then again, we can't go off of a parent coaching their child either. I mean, I firmly believe, in my opinion, that he coached his child with Courtney's help.
I have no idea whether that's the case or not, because I had the same concern at the beginning. But let me ask you a question. You told me, you talked about the best interest of the child. Is there a definition for the best interest of the child?
There is. I mean, I would just have to go. I'm going to have to go look that up. I mean, to give you the exact definition of it.
So let me tell you what the definition is, just that I'll save you the problem.
I know with her mother, she's very loved. Just like Travis said, she's very thankful, she's loved, she's healthy, she's happy.
I'm trying to educate you a little bit about the family court system here and why I say this stuff. The best interest of the child, if you talk about this, I've testified in front of the legislature down in Austin about this issue. And they say, well, it's the Hawley factors. The Hawley factors came from a Texas Supreme Court decision. They talk about the Hawley factors. And they tell you right off the bat, they have 8 factors that they use to determine what they call the best interest of the child. But number 1, they are not an exhaustive list. So there is no exhaustive list. Number 2, they don't tell you, like, is number 1 rated at 20%? Is number 8 rated at 5%? And what about all these other factors? How do they fall in?
Right.
So they don't know that. The third thing is, who makes a decision about the best interest of the child? It's always a stranger. Not the person who's been there with the child at night when the child's been sick, not the person who's been out working for the child to provide money so that they can have a roof over their head and food to eat and everything like that. Not the person who comes home, who the child comes home to when the child is hurt and says, Mommy or Daddy, I'm hurt. You know,
Okay.
but
Jeff,
wait,
so
let me finish
well,
here.
you did go on for quite a while.
Wait, but let me finish and then I'll go on. The best interest of the child is invoked every single time. The best interest of the child can be that a child can be transitioned from a boy to a girl. I've seen this in person. Now you tell me how that is the best interest of the child when the child is 8 years old and the child does not want to be a girl, but the mother wants to force that. You tell me that. You defend that. You can't. And I'm telling you, that takes place every single time. They talk about the best interest of the child. It's a thing. It's something that they make up. There's no law involved. So that's why I don't
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no way to get around with it. When 2 parents don't agree, you have to have a judge do that for you.
A judge who does not know, a judge who has taken over that position.
Okay, so how else do you suggest that they do this?
So first off, I'm going to.
He doesn't want them to get divorced. He doesn't want them to be allowed to get divorced.
Together. So you would rather have parents who fight and carry on and do whatever in front of their kids than to divorce and do a healthy co-parenting plan. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this, and whoever said that, I mean, you got it part right. I think that a lot of divorces are unnecessary. Not all divorces, but I also say too that we can't pretend. Wait a minute, let me finish. We cannot.
Well, what I think is you should go back and study this case from day one before.
Well, you know what? You asked me a question. I'm trying to answer the question.
I'll give you that. But before you are able to speak on this specific case, it would be better to go back and look through everything starting from day one.
Okay, I'm not to finish the answer to my question or to what you said about me. It's basically that I said we cannot underestimate the trauma that happens to children of divorce. I will send you a book, Children of Divorce. The now adult children of divorce speak out. 30 years later, they're still being impacted by their parents' divorce. And I'm not saying
that you're wrong about that. I'm not saying that you're wrong about that, but there's also kids that are affected by their parents who stayed together who should have been divorced.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. But what I've talked about, I've never talked about eliminating divorce. I've said, how do you minimize divorce? And if you cannot agree with me on that, then we have a bigger issue.
We have what, an 80% divorce rate nowadays compared to what, a 30% before, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. It's way different now than it ever has been before.
And I will tell you that if you go back when I talk about no-fault divorce that took place in 1969, signed by Governor Ronald Reagan. And again, this is the exact same doctrine that Vladimir Lenin imposed in Bolshevik Russia. The interesting thing is that the communists, within 10 years, they realized they had a disaster on their hands. And like, what do we do with this issue? But in America, because we've done it state by state, we have not looked at this as a national issue. So what I would say is, number one, when you have a no-fault divorce that is a forced divorce, where is your due process? Where is your equal access and under the law? This becomes, in some instances, it becomes viewpoint discrimination, religious viewpoint discrimination. Often a person who's having an affair, whether it's, if you want to say it's Michael or whether you want to say it's Kelly, if they're having affairs, they can invoke no-fault divorce to hide their misdeed.
It was Michael.
As is their right. As is their right to do.
It's not their right to do.
It's always my right. We can divorce whatever man or woman we are married to, and we could say bye-bye. There's no such thing as slavery. We could do whatever we want.
So it's nice that you take this term and you use this term like slavery. You know what? If you want to leave, you can leave.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second here. If you want to leave, leave. But you don't get to take all the assets with you.
That's not. No one's taking all the assets.
Wait a minute. Now you're upset about that. You want to be able to.
I'm not upset, Jeff.
Come on now.
Jeff, you're yelling, but you don't understand. First of all, you're talking about like Lenin and stuff. Like, I've got no problem with socialism. I don't
Obviously.
have a need for the church. That's not necessary. You're talking out of a very specific viewpoint that is not a secular viewpoint. And we're talking about laws that apply to all people in this country. So
Well,
we're not really
that's
interested
true.
on your positions on trans rights or that women being able to commit adultery. Like, stop. And I will say, I'll point down into
Wait a
thing
minute,
because she
why
commented
stop?
under her name. Jeff, you spoke for a long time. She commented under her name, so I'm gonna highlight it. But Charity Long, if you look down in that thing, and she is somebody who did go through a really bad situation in Tarrant County with the family courts, and she appealed and she won, and she went through it. And her name is pretty well known. And she, if you please go back and see her comment where she said that she has been a big supporter of your work and has followed you, but absolutely is losing respect for you right now because you have taken up for Mike Long without doing your research. So even though me and you don't agree, I know that her name is well known in Texas with anti-family court corruption. And that's, so I'm trying to say, like, please focus on what we're talking about, Mike Long.
Okay.
I appreciate your interview, but don't take up for him.
No,
Okay.
no, that's exactly what I did. Like I said, I went down there. I did not just spout rubbish. I went to his family's place of residence. I talked with Michael on the phone. That's not the first time I've talked with him, but for various reasons, I didn't talk in depth. This time I was talking with him from the prison that he's in Mexico. If he's justly in prison, that's one thing. If he's unjustly in prison, I think that you would also be concerned if you care about justice. But you have made the determination that he's justly in prison. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I'm not down there. I can't pretend to know. So as far as Charity Long is concerned, I mean, I've spoken about the issue. I have just said that this is an issue right now. And if you look at what I've said, as far as the title of the video that I put out, I talked about the anti-family corruption or whatever it was in Collin County Family Courts, more corruption and cover-up. Is there corruption and cover-up? I think there is. I may be wrong. Where is Sophie Long is my question. And then
it's none of your business where Sophie Long is. None of your business.
If she has been trafficked by the courts, I'm sorry, I think it is.
Right. The courts don't sex traffic children. Courts don't traffic children.
Actually,
I'm going tonight.
Yeah,
You're
not
never
at
going to
all.
know where Sophie Long is. Her dad's never going to know where Sophie Long is because he's never legally allowed to know. And no one's ever going to tell anybody because she's with people who don't talk about their children on the internet. So I'm going to have a good night. Thank you so much for your interview. Thank you for letting me hear Mike in prison because I really loved the details. They were hilarious. Good night, everybody.
And you know, Mr. Jeff, unless you're going to be educated in this case, I really think that you should just cover or say all of your beliefs on your other channel because, quite frankly, we're not interested in that. We're just interested in Sophie being safe, and she is now.
Well, that's what you say she is, but I have no proof of that. And you are.
Well, you didn't have any proof.
Why would you be going into her bedroom?
And what difference does a cute little room look like in her grandparents' house?
I'm just saying, I met her grandparents. Her grandparents are wonderful people.
Her grandparents are not the ones raising her.
Well, she also stayed with her grandparents as well at various times.
Why is that? She stayed with her grandparents when she was in her father's possession. Because he didn't parent her. So you're missing the whole point on everything being told to you.
Well,
so until you go educate yourself on both sides.
Well, maybe you want to educate yourself on both sides too. Because is it possible that
I'm pretty damn educated on both sides, mister. Let me tell you now.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you think that you're educated on both sides. That's fine.
Well, you know what? I just think it's laughable that you say that you want to. I mean, you're not going to be taken serious in Texas if this is the case that you want to bank it on. So
I'm not banking it on this case. I'm not banking it on this case.
Well, if I were you, I think I'd be a little quiet if I'm worried about my reputation, because all this will do, sir, is cause you hell.
Well, you know what? That may be the case. And if it is, then it is. I went down in person. These are my impressions. And I went down. I took my
really
own time.
sad.
Wait a minute. I went down.
Didn't even find anything out about the mom, what she's been through, or any of that. And you just solely go because you've met his parents. You've seen the house. Well, we have a video somewhere of when he was 13 years old. We've met the parents too.
Okay. Yes. And I know. And you've talked about their parents. I talked to them too. I mean, so
Oh, good.
yeah. But I'm just saying that's not the reason that that was the first time I met them. Somebody made the comment that I'm getting paid to do this. I'm not getting paid to do this. I paid
Well, I
my
hope
own
not,
way.
because all the money needs to be sent to him. So I mean,
Well,
that's not the case. The case is that we thought that you might be interested in knowing that you're back in the wrong side, but you
well,
don't care, and
I
that's
am
okay
saying
because
this. All I've said, I'm not backing anybody's side. I think that what took place, I think as a father, he should be able to protect his child the same way that you as a mother would want to protect your
sir,
child.
his
No,
her father allowed her to be essayed by having medical exams that she didn't even need.
well, we don't know
Her
that, do we?
father sent her
That's
to the doctor numerous times. Don't talk about what he should and shouldn't do to protect her. He shouldn't have been doing what he did.
well,
So,
that's your
I mean,
opinion,
I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I tell you what,
you may be
I
right.
wouldn't
I may
watch
be
my
wrong.
child do that shit to my grandchild. Right now,
Right.
I'm telling you right now.
You know, as a grandparent in Texas, you don't have that many rights, so you better really rethink that. That's just the reality of it.
I am a grandparent in Texas.
But you don't have that many rights unless the state gives them to you. Why do you think grandparents go down to Austin to try to
Sir,
testify for some type
I've
of
never lost
grandparent
rights
rights?
to my grandchildren.
It doesn't
I've
make a
always had
difference
rights to my
if
grandchildren.
one of your
I
children
guess
loses
before
rights.
I assumed that you would know everything about this case before supporting someone like that and speaking on it. You know what I'm
Yeah, and I
saying?
think that's what we all
That
say, and
was
I
my
think that's
opinion, I guess.
frustration.
Hey, that's fine. You can have your opinion, and like I said, I'm sure that there are things that I don't know. I'm just telling
Oh
you,
yeah, I think there's a lot you don't know, honestly.
and I think that there may be things that you don't know too, but that's fine. We can agree to disagree, but like I said, I got on because somebody was like, well, Jeff Morgan's being paid. No, I'm here. I'll take it, take the heat. You guys have a predetermined position, and that's fine. You guys have said, hey,
No,
I don't really.
sir. It's not a predetermined position. It's a lot of research and knowledge.
Okay, well,
So
great.
we didn't
Wonderful.
walk into this with a predetermined position. So
Nor did
if you
I.
could correct that.
Nor did I, but I will say this, that what you're trying to say is that two people can walk into a case, and if they don't come to the same conclusion, one person has, this one person is sticking up for the wrong thing. I'm just telling you, I did the same thing that you did. I came in
Well,
and
I mean,
I looked
none
at
of
what I
this
saw.
other stuff has to do with anything to do with Michael. I'll tell you
I
that
have
right.
no idea.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I got on and you're talking about your worldview. I'm talking about my worldview. You talked about my channel. I said, hey, I'm not a men's rights activist. I am I advocate both for men and for women. I see what I see. I may be wrong. I try to make sure that I'm not. I may be wrong. In spite of everything that I do, I may be wrong. But I do try to look at both sides. And I will always try to get both people on. And I may be wrong even still. But I would just tell you that if you want to defend the courts, I think that you guys have a whole lot of education to do.
Yeah, we go. I mean, I'm still wondering. Yeah, where's this $250,000 at? Where'd that go?
What are you talking about?
The money he got from his, Go Fraud Me that he did.
Well, he had
Cash App,
GoFundMe, he had
PayPal,
PayPal, he had
To be
Venmo,
honest,
Amazon wish
PayPal,
list.
Venmo.
I have no idea. I didn't ask about it. I was asking about the situation with Sophie and him being in prison. That's what I was asking about.
That is a situation with Sophie. He used her to raise all that money.
Yes, he did.
Like
He
I said, I
used
don't know.
her.
Anyway,
Well,
I
there's a
appreciate
whole lot
Charity.
you don't know.
Charity, why don't you talk with me sometime on your own? I'd love to talk with you. I see your thing up here, and I appreciate it. Look like I said. I mean, right now there's one of me, and there's 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many of you. Whatever. That's fine. I don't care. That's not an issue to me.
Well, there's only 2 of us up here on panel, but you came into the
Right.
wrong chat. Honestly, you came into the wrong one, because we've been here since day one. We know we've been through all the court papers. We've been through all the, we've been through all of it. It was all blasted out here on these YouTube channels. Most of them are already deleted now, but they were read out.
Why were they deleted?
Because the girl took her
it's
channel down.
dealing
She
with
deleted
a
her whole channel.
minor girl.
She read the medical court docs online on her YouTube channel.
Yeah,
for everybody,
for the children.
Yeah,
so
I think I probably have the documents too. So I'm not.
Oh yeah, you'll have anything that makes Michael Long look good.
No,
so
that's really a prejudicial thing. That's a very sexist remark that you would say that. Like somehow that because I'm a man, I would say that. That's really sexist. I want to put an apology from you.
I didn't say anything
Why?
about you being sexist. Who the hell
Well,
are you talking to?
you know, all I'm just saying is anything that makes Michael Long look good, like somehow I'm a man that's going to be sticking up for a man. You know what? I am, like I've said from the very beginning, I take both cases.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, it seems pretty odd that you've had what, 13, 14 essay cases, and you take this one on as well, and you don't even have all the facts, and you haven't started from the beginning. You don't have all the paperwork, all the videos, all the he's done. He's done multiple YouTube videos. Do you know he talked about his daughter's vaginal area on a YouTube?
Well,
Sure did.
and do you know why?
I mean, it's disgusting, the things that he did. It is disgusting. I don't understand how you could even defend some. I mean, I guess it's to each their own, but I mean, damn.
So the
And
first
how
thing
he
that I
tried
said
to
from the
blame his
beginning,
boys for things,
the
sir.
first thing I said from the beginning is that I have not followed everything. I have a lot of documents. I'm not spending my time doing this. I work full time. I took time off of work.
What
Wait a
we're
minute.
telling you is that you should be a little bit more educated on it.
Well, maybe I should be. Go ahead and
Yeah.
educate me. You can send me the stuff. Educate me.
You have somebody in chat that said she'll be happy to talk to you afterwards. I guess you know her. So
I don't know who it
she
is.
apparently knows all about this case. Charity Long.
Okay, yeah. Charity,
Yeah,
feel free.
so she'll be
You
able
can
to
probably
fill you in.
contact
I
me on
wouldn't send
Facebook.
you anything. I don't know you.
Oh, that's fine. And I don't know you either. But I just
That's
said,
good.
if you're good, wonderful. I am not hiding behind an icon. Anyway, like I said, all I did was
Look,
go down
mister,
just
it's not that I'm hiding behind an icon. I'm an older lady and I don't take pictures. I
That's
hate
fine.
pictures. So,
That's fine.
okay. But I happen to like Groot. He's really happy. I am Groot. You know, I like enjoyable things.
Oh,
So
I didn't
I'm
know
not
that.
hiding
I
behind
didn't
an
even know
icon.
who Groot was. So that's I
One
didn't
day,
know.
one day I'll have somebody take a picture that I don't feel like I look like this big old fat Yankee grandma from the South. Make sure I got my teeth in. Okay. But until then, Groot can stay up there. And I'm not hiding behind Groot.
Well, that's fine. Look, I mean, I just made
Anything
a comment.
else?
No, not at
Yeah, you
all.
did.
Like I said, I did say something about that, but I'm just saying that I'm not hiding. I mean, my face is public. I've gone public with things, and they are my opinions. I may be wrong. I posted an interview. That I did with him. I got factual information, which evidently you've all appreciated. That's what I was asking about.
Yeah, we really enjoyed finding out the truth that he was arrested in Mexico City. We'd been led to believe that somebody had enlightened the police agencies and he was picked up right inside the border. So we enjoyed hearing that. Yes.
Okay. So then what's the complaint with what I did?
We don't have a complaint with what you did. We appreciate the update. We're just
We
saying,
really
if you're
do.
going to stick up for someone like him, you need to know all the facts and everything that he's done over the last 2 years, because he's not someone that, once you learn, I'm sure you're probably going to have a change of opinion.
So what I said, and this is the distinction that I'm making here. I'm not backing up anybody's behavior right now. What I'm saying is I'm addressing the issue of the courts. And you've been in agreement with me on
is that you need to understand that there
I
has
did
been
come here.
so
Yes, that's
much
good.
light on this case that even oh, sir, I don't know what cause you're going for, but the cause will be brought down some by this case. There is no cause in this case. There's no corruption.
Then if
The
there's no corruption,
child
there's no
was not
corruption.
abused at the mother's home. I
If
mean,
there's no corruption, there's no corruption. If there's no
I
abuse,
mean,
there's no
these people
abuse.
said
Let the
that,
facts come out.
these
saying that
people
you
said,
need
listen,
to
here's
educate
another example.
yourself.
Here's another example of their crazy shit. Kelly had to take her children and go to a hotel because she couldn't even stay in her home anymore. He had doxed her house, her address. She had to, for the protection of her children, she had to leave and go stay in a hotel. In that hotel, while under police supervision and CCTV camera systems all over, Michael accused Kelly of holding a knife to her daughter's throat while 3 and 4 men essayed her in a hotel room and blasted that across YouTube and the internet, knowing damn well it was fake, it was false, it never happened.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not familiar with that. So
No, it's not
Oh,
fine.
that's
No, it's
what do
not
you mean
fine.
that's
That's not
fine? That's
okay.
not
That is
fine.
definitely not okay. That's
This
not
I'm just
person
fine
who
at
I'm
you're
just
all.
saying
saying might
if that's
possibly have
if
been
that's what it is,
arrested,
that's what it is. Well, I'm just saying if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm not. I
you would
told you from the
align yourself
beginning.
with someone, a father that would do that, a grandfather that would stand behind his own son saying that about his granddaughter.
What I would
That's
align
okay.
myself with
That's
is to
not okay.
say that the courts often get things wrong, and if the courts are correct in this instance,
And
that
they,
would
yeah,
be a
they might get things
wonderful.
wrong, but in this
It
case, they definitely didn't. They definitely didn't. This
that
is
would be a
definitely not a case
wonderful
to be
minority
using
case
for
if the
that.
courts got things
If
right.
you okay, you know what? We were just trying to help you out. If you want to go guns a blazing down this road, you just go right on ahead. That's the road you belong on. We're
Well,
just telling you that this case is not going to help your cause in Tarrant County or Texas or whatever it is.
my case,
That's
as
not going
I
to help your
said,
cause.
if take a
Find
look,
find a case where you're needed.
you know
Put
what?
your energy where you're needed,
Why
because he
don't you do
doesn't
this?
need you.
You know what? I don't know whether he does or doesn't. And I was talking about a specific case. I was talking about the courts. I've been to the calling courts. Have you been inside the courts as well?
Have I what?
Have you been inside the courts as well? I mean, I'm just asking a question.
You mean have I been arrested?
Have you
Never.
been inside Collin County courts to watch what was going on?
Have I
Were you
been?
there?
I used to live.
And why give
I
back the
used to
two
live
boys,
in
but not
Collin
the?
County.
Why give back the two boys, but not his daughter? Why
You know
I
is
what?
used
her?
to live in Collin
Why is
County. Yeah.
Kelly's home good enough for his two sons, but not for his daughter?
I don't know. Ask him that question.
And why did
Absolutely,
he?
you don't know either. He knows that he's using his daughter as for money, in my opinion, as a cash cow, in my opinion.
Well,
And
if
why
that's
did
your
he
opinion, you may be
accuse
right. I
his
don't know.
sons of something that no one would do?
Well, like I said,
And
I don't know.
why? Okay. Well,
You
see,
guys are
there's
talking
just
about
all
things
these
that I don't even know the
questions.
details of, and I don't really, you're talking about things. Obviously, you've been following
Vegas,
this
do you
stuff.
want to come up
We're
here?
telling you what the corruption
You
is,
need to come
sir.
up here?
I just simply asked you if you were in the courtroom when this stuff took place.
No, but we have all the transcripts from it. We have went over those as well.
Okay, so all I'm just saying is that I've been in the courts, and as Charity, I appreciate you saying this. I'm not saying whether this is the case to use or not, but I'm just saying that I have been in the courts up in Collin County. I've had to testify. They've shut me down, calling what I was saying hearsay when I was speaking of first-person testimony. I've watched it. I've been in front of several different judges that I observed in person. This one I was not a part of, but I do know, and I've talked with Cynthia Wheeler very, very briefly. I mean, not much that I really know a whole lot about her. I've heard the name Rachel Lee come up repeatedly. I also know, too, that there are women out there that are telling me about the Michael Long case, that are sticking up for Michael Long, not for Kelly. So I'm just saying, there are other people, good people, that disagree. I don't know all the facts because I haven't been following it, as I've said. Maybe you have more facts.
Excuse me 1 second. I don't know why Twisted Puppet. I'm not sure where you got that from. Sophia's not in foster care. Just so that there's not any
I'm sure
rumors
it's
that
another
start
one of the
off.
list of fucking made up lies. Who knows?
I don't know where she is. Nobody knows where she is. Michael doesn't know where she
The
is. Nor
people
does her
that have
grandparents.
custody of her know where she is.
You know, I don't
you know?
know that. Then I would love to let them put out a statement so that they can be
Really?
verified.
And and Michael Long he put out one every time after he sold that child, didn't he? He let the mother know where she was, didn't he? He felt she was entitled to it, didn't he?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, not once. He took off with that child. He was not supposed to have her, and no one knew where she was,
The
how she
court
was,
said
what
she
state
was
she
not
was
supposed to
in,
have her.
what
The
country
court
she
said
was
that.
in.
The court said
So
that.
stop asking where she is.
Well, I'm just saying that was the question that I was asking. Do you know where Sophie is?
Well, I'm just
Nobody
saying.
knows.
Stop asking where she is. Nobody's gonna. If they did, they sure as hell wouldn't tell you.
I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying,
They
where is
wouldn't.
she?
It's not for anybody to know.
Oh, it's secretive. Okay, I've got it. But you know.
Yeah.
But you
If
know.
that's what it takes for you to feel like you understand it, mister. Oh my
Well,
God.
You know, it's interesting how you get so defensive when I ask legitimate questions of you.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said it's interesting how you get so defensive and accusing and stuff like that when I ask legitimate questions of you.
Like what?
I was gonna
Personal
say I don't
questions
think
of
he's
me?
getting mad or
I
defensive
just
at
said,
all.
I just said, you insult me. I just said, my question was, as you look at my YouTube video, where is Sophie Long? Nobody knows where she is among the other side of the family.
It's
Now,
not anybody's business.
They're
It's
not.
not your
There is
business.
no
It's
other
not
side of the
Michael's
family.
business. It's
He
not anybody's
lost
on
custody
YouTube's
of his
business.
children.
It's no
Hey,
one's business.
Judge,
She is
see,
safe where she's at. She's with
He
her mother or wherever she is. I don't know, wherever she's supposed to be. She's safe where she's at.
so
Not
he
Michael just
back
lost
lost
his
down.
parental rights. He
her.
doesn't
He
get that privilege.
lost parental custody. He
You
lost
don't understand.
parental rights.
Obviously, you don't understand what the courts do when they do that stuff. This is a
Obviously not. No.
You don't.
It's just a piece of paper and it's a joke, right?
I'm telling you that in many instances, parental rights are terminated for no reason. And I can speak with
Oh,
people
there was
throughout the
reason.
country.
He
And
chose
see,
not to,
this is the
you know,
thing.
he
This
chose
is
not
what
to
it is.
show up for
Michael Long was
court.
about to lose his parental rights. His rights were about to be terminated when he made this video and edited it and then put it out and made these accusations against Kelly. And that's when he waged his war on the internet, social media,
And
on
he chose
YouTube,
not to go to
on
court,
TikTok.
Jeff.
He had everybody he had Kelly scared for her life in a hotel hiding because she couldn't trust him because him and his wife had put all this information out about them, their address, their phone number. I mean, he knew what time it was. He was going to lose his rights to, because he deserves to lose those rights.
Now, wait a minute. You're saying he deserves it. You obviously, that's
After what he's done to his daughter, yeah, he does. Taking her to
And
have
his
multiple
boys.
exams done. Yes, to kidnap her and get caught with her with a quarter pound of weed crossing
Yeah.
the border in Mexico. Come on now, for real?
Well,
For
And a
real?
gun.
obviously,
This is ridiculous. I can't believe this. I can't even believe this right now. I'm really
Charity, make sure that you contact
right.
me.
He kidnapped his child.
I'll
He
talk with you.
kidnapped his daughter and took
Okay,
off
listen, hey, this is
and
going
crossed
nowhere.
the border.
I appreciate that you guys let me on. I am not here.
You know what? I appreciate you for coming on, and thank you for coming on, and thank you for getting the interview.
Yeah,
We
and
appreciate
Charity,
the update.
just if Charity Long, please send me a message on Facebook. You probably know who I am, and I will respond. It may not be tonight, but I'll get back to you, and we can talk offline. Is that fair, Charity? Anyway, hey, listen, I appreciate again. I simply went down there to look at what was going on with the courts. Again, I had many people that have told me, again, both men and women, and I'm ending right here, that have told me to look at that. And as I said last year, I did not go because there was just so much out there that I was not going to stick my neck out on the line. I have just basically reported on factual stuff. I put my phone call out there, and that's all I did.
Charity said
Charity
okay.
said okay.
Hey,
Yes,
thanks, Charity.
Charity said okay.
Good, wonderful. I look forward to it. Thanks so much. And anyway, appreciate it. Even though this was hot or whatever. Hey, I appreciate you letting me on. And
No problem. I appreciate the conversation.
Thanks so much. We'll talk
Appreciate
with
it.
you again maybe sometime. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Thanks. Bye.
Where
I
the
just hope
hell
he
is
does
he
way
from?
more research. What in the actual fuck?
Oh my God! To involve
I
yourself.
really, you know what? I hope he keeps doing the interviews with Mike. I really hope he keeps getting interviews with him. So we
Yeah.
can keep updated, because that's about the only way we're gonna get the updates, the actual updates. You know.
Hey, at least we know he was arrested in Mexico City, so we know he had been there for a while.
Right.
We know he's still in Mexico jail. And we know he gets to sleep on the floor. But he does have blankets. But just knowing he's still in Mexico jail. I'm sorry, Queen. He was pissing me off.
No, that's all right. He got me a couple times too. And I was just trying not to be rude, because you know what I'm saying? I was like, I mean, I was dropping the link so I could let people come up if they wanted to say something, you know what I mean? But a lot of people don't want to come up and say something like they do, but they don't, you know? So I was trying to keep my cool because, I don't like to be getting out of hand. I don't like to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
I
but
caught
it
myself a
don't
couple
bother
times
me.
though.
I get fired up and no, I shouldn't, but it was like, oh dude, please. I mean, if he has a cause out there, if he has a legitimate cause, this can do so much damage to him.
Oh, absolutely. And it
So
will. And that's what I said when he said he hadn't followed the case from day one. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why you're even doing this, because you have no clue
yeah,
what
yeah.
the damage that he did. And I wish that fucking video would have played, damn it.
I know. I don't know what was wrong, Queen. I did it like
Wait a minute. Hold on. Twisted Puppet. What are you talking about, baby? What the fuck are you talking about? Why are y'all mad at me for bringing up a rumor I heard from y'all? What are you even talking about?
we never said anything about Sophie being in foster care,
What?
but
Right.
we're not
Here,
upset.
I'll drop the link for you if you want to come up here, because I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't mean to sound upset. I was just addressing you before it got like out there on the YouTube streets that she was. But I was heated, so I might have sounded kind of hot. But I wasn't heated at you. Oh, she screams.
Oh yeah, we don't do screaming. If you want to talk, you're welcome to come up here, but we ain't doing no screaming. We
Oh
ain't doing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean, I'm respectful though. I will let you come up here if you got something you want to say, but don't be doing the screaming. What I want to know, I can't go back. It's not letting me go back to see
Oh,
what she said.
it said Tim.
Savage said she answered her, but I'm trying to go back to see what she said, and I can't.
I don't
I
know.
can't find it far enough
Gabby is
to.
saying that I guess that rumor was started by Tim Foxworth, the the foster care rumor.
Well, what the fuck? We don't associate with Tim.
No, but Twisted Puppet came in and she was asking about her being in foster care, and I was heated at Jeff, and I said, but I interrupted because he was talking, and I informed her that she's not in foster care, and then Gabby said apparently it's a rumor that Tim Foxworth is feeding out right now, that she's in foster care. Does that make sense? No, Twisted. I didn't say that you knew where it started. I said Gabby said it started with Tim. Cappy. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Tim said that.
okay. So if Tim said that, it basically came from Courtney. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't do the Tiny Tim Foxworth. He started that rumor. He made a post in his group about it. Timmy is special. Yeah, we don't really fuck with him. So, and right, he runs with Courtney. So who knows where that came up? Obviously, it came from her or her side or whatever. So
Yeah. Well, Ladybug, I'm gonna hang up. My hubby came in and we started this, and so that I was leaving once, and then that Jeff guy came. I'm like, whoa, that ought to be interesting.
yeah, it was definitely getting heated. I had to get up. I was in and out, but I came in and heard it. And I was like, oh shit, I need to sit down and answer this. I want to respond so fucking bad, but I don't want to be rude and interrupt him. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm grateful that he let us play his, it's under fair use, but still, I didn't, you know what I mean? I wanted to let him finish
Oh
his
yeah.
sentence, but he would have, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in
He
case
didn't
he
say
wouldn't have a clue where SL is, which is great. You know what I mean?
right.
So there's that.
All right, sweets. Well, I'm gonna jump off here. I thank you very much for the live and letting me come up. I appreciate it.
Well, no problem. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Okay, you said Casey is in no way her guardian. She is the almost ex-wife of ML who has no parental rights to SL. She does not have access to that info. Right. At the end of the day, all we need to know is that SL is safe and Michael's in jail. The end. And it's a beautiful end. yeah, I'll leave it up for a little while. I hope everybody has a good night. It was a good live for a while. I'll talk to you guys later.